Welcome to That Adds Up, where every story matters, every life has meaning, and every conversation brings us one step closer to understanding, translating chaos into clarity, one moment, one story at a time. Thanks for tuning in to That Adds Up. I'm Kristina Richie, and today I have a very special friend of mine. But before I tell you who he is, I do need to tell you how we met, because if I tell you who he is, then it's going to ruin it. So I used to be a bartender way back in, 2017, 2018. And this guy right here came into that bar and he walks up and I just remember he looked at me and he said, "Hey, can I get a James Ruby on the rocks double, please?" And I remember being like, yeah, sure, absolutely. I was a newer bartender. I had never bartended before in my life. And I just kind of turn around and grab my phone and I'm trying to find this stupid freaking recipe and I cannot find it. And I just remember you waiting for a solid minute, if not two, before I hear you chuckling. And I turn around and I look at you and you're with your hand out, "Hi, I'm James Ruby." I will never forget how we met because of that. I have told that story so many times. So the first thing I want to ask you is how did you come up with that?
Honestly, so everybody gets to a point, when they're at the bar, you need something other than alcohol. Everybody goes for water. Well, nobody has a fun, cool way to order water. And a glass of water is just 2 shots of water on the rocks. So, it doesn't have...
It's a James Ruby double!
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have a name, so I'll take it. I'll grab it. And then, when I had made that joke, I had to think about it. And I was like, is this something that people do all the time? Am I going to be one of those people where, here's the joke you hear 10 times a day, but fortunately it was organic?
I've literally never had anybody else do that.
Sweet.
That was a first for me. And alas, nobody else did it after that either. I thought it was super original. I was like, dang, this guy's good. I was blown away, actually. Now, how old are you?
I'm 29.
29, almost dirty 30. Can you believe that?
I already feel it in my back.
I'm 10 years older than you. I'm so old. Oh my God.
We're all kids at heart still.
You're right. That's true. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're 29 years old. Tell me, where did you grow up?
I grew up here. Well, I grew up in Texas, around the DFW area, suburb kid. And we had the white picket fence, not literally, but we had the American dream going on. Dad went to work. Mom was a stay-at-home mom.
What do you remember about that house?
I remember my room, and then I remember a really out-of-place corner office that my dad had set up. And then I wasn't born for the extension, but our sunroom, which had ceiling-to-floor windows, and being able to watch storms out of those windows was the coolest thing ever. And so any house that I'm going to hold up in for a while, it's got to have those.
It's got to have the big windows.
I got to watch storms roll in.
Is there any smell or anything that brings you back instantly to that house?
Very generic fruit-scented candles.
Really?
Both my mom and my sister went through a candle phase to where the house didn't smell like anything else except for your very niche apple cinnamon baked pie scent. And some of them would make me nauseous to the point that I'd have to go for a walk while they blew it out and let it clear out. Yeah,
it bothered you that much?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have no idea what it was, but I just got sick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so dad's working, mom's stay-at-home mom, and siblings?
One sister.
One sister, older, younger?
Older.
Older sister, the one that liked the candles. How much older is she than you?
We're 3 years apart.
Okay, so I was raised in a house. I've got a little brother that's 5 years younger than me, so kind of close to the same dynamic. Mama stay at home, dad worked.
Cool.
Got you. Okay, DFW area. And so talk to me about childhood whenever you were growing up. What kind of a kid were you?
Fat kid.
You were a fat kid.
Putting it out right now.
Yeah?
Called it fat kid. It didn't start that way. I was in public school for K through second, and then I started acting up with some of the other kids. I think we flooded a toilet at the school one time. Yeah, that's when mom was like, all right, I've had enough. And she took me out to homeschool me for third and fourth grade.
Oh,
Well, I'm a really good manipulator. So most of that was just watching TV with nothing to do because I would always figure out how to work her into getting the work done in like an hour. And then the rest of the day was mine. And with nothing to do, and nobody to go play outside with, I just ate. I just snacked.
so is that when you gained all your weight? Was like third and fourth grade? So
Yep.
were you heavy before that?
No, I was a stick before that.
When's the first time that you remember feeling like the fat kid?
When we went school shopping, so fourth grade going into fifth grade, which I was going to re-enter public school, we went clothes shopping, and nothing fit me. And then I finally comprehended what the word husky meant for jeans and pants. And I remember looking in the mirror at Kohl's, and I cried actually.
Oh.
Yeah, just because I was so embarrassed and also uncomfortable with the way that shirts would wrap around me, and I knew that we grow up in like fat phobic and everything's instilled in our heads, and I just remember all of that flooding in that something was wrong with me and that wasn't okay, and you know, where I stood as a human went from here all the way down to here.
So you felt small?
Well, yeah, yeah.
But the
Small
reverse?
inside.
Yeah, small inside, big outside.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. And then, so you go back to school. Are you going back to the same school or
Yeah.
different school? Okay.
Yep.
So the same school, same kids are there and everything, the ones you were getting in trouble with?
No, those guys had moved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
that why
yeah.
mom was agreeing to put you back in there? Did she know that?
No, I think she just figured out the shtick I was running, where I wasn't doing much of the schoolwork. Still super smart. All my grades were great. I passed all the public school tests and everything. And it was just time for her to let me be somebody else's problem for a little bit.
Okay. But second grade, you were already hanging around with a certain crowd and you were already flooding toilets.
Yeah.
So what happened before that to where these were the kids and the things that you were choosing to do? What do you think that was?
Honestly, I think it was just experimentation, except I wasn't hanging around kids that were taught more social boundaries. And so I had the social boundaries at home. I was taught respect and all of that growing up in the church that we did. But the kids I would hang out with, you know, flooding the toilet didn't seem like a problem. It was just like, oh, let's see if we can pull this thing off. Let's see what we can do to this toilet to flood it.
Now, have you always been a person who likes to get reactions out of people?
Yeah.
Do you think that like maybe that could have had something to do with it?
You don't gotta call me
I'm
out
just
like
asking.
that, man.
I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like attention until I don't.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And I try to attract it until I've had enough of it.
Would you say that you're the type of person that likes to control the emotional temperature of the room?
Ooh, that's a lot of responsibility.
Do you like knowing that you can get a rise out of somebody?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Rage baiting, my favorite thing. Yep.
Interesting.
But I make sure it's always in a fun way. You know, if I don't like to do it at the expense of somebody. If they get to a point where they're like, no, seriously, knock it off. It's like, all right, my bad, stepped over a boundary.
Okay, well, that's cool. So at least you're respectful that way.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you're a second grade kid and you're hanging out with what we're going to call the wrong crowd.
Yeah,
Okay. So was there anything else that happened in that time period that maybe would have made you see yourself as somebody that should be hanging out with those kids?
Not that I can really recall because, you know, the brain's still so early in development during those years. I guess the disapproval of, the disapproval of my mother about those kids, I kind of built my idea of them off of that after she had taken me out of school. So it's like, oh, those are the bad kids. Don't be around the bad kids. when in reality, I think it was just, they're misunderstood.
Oh, I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I just so you know, my dad used to tell me I pick up all the strays, so I feel that.
I could see
Okay,
that
yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
I mean, I'm here, so.
Well, you said it. I didn't have to say that. No, literally, my dad always told me you pick up the strays, and it's interesting to think about it now because I'm like, I look back and I'm like, all my friends, like literally starting very, very young, were like the adoptees, the one girl with the lesbian moms, the LGBTQ kids, like all of those kids. I always just gravitated towards those kids, always. And or the troublemakers. I loved me some troublemakers, and like I think it was like I saw the human underneath the behavior ever since like a super young age. And I have always been so sensitive to people judging other people.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm always like, they're hurting. Leave them alone,
There's something going on you don't know.
I remember like in 6th grade, there was a friend of mine that I had grown up with, like literally since like kindergarten or whatever. And he was a friend of mine forever. I didn't know back then. I don't even think I knew what gay was in 6th grade. I damn sure didn't know that he was gay. Okay. I just knew that he was my sweet friend. And that was that. I mean, we had a Spice Girls club together, for crying out loud. All right. I was ginger. Thank you. And I never got to do my hair like that. I might just have to do it one of these days. My husband would have a heart attack, but whatever.
Hey, satisfy the inner child.
That's right.
Yeah.
So me and this kid are on the bus one day, and there's like these 3 older boys. They're like 8th graders.
Okay.
And they just start picking on him and throwing stuff at him and like all the things. And this was back, I know you're probably gonna have a heart attack when I tell you this, but I used to be like a total square. Like I didn't cuss. I didn't do anything wrong. Really? Yeah. I was like this really, really, really good kid. And I was like in church and all of the things. And that's how I was raised. Little Kristina, little 6th grade, 11-year-old, 12-year-old Kristina stands up on this bus, which was against the rules, mind you, but I felt like it was justified in this moment.
Big deal.
And I stood up and I had my Bible with me and in its little like striped case, and I whipped that sucker out and I start reading Bible verses to these kids. And I'm like, you need to leave him alone.
You showed them.
Dude, I was such the advocate for those kids. And I think it's interesting. It took me until like a month ago before I like understood why. And that's why I'm curious with you, like, was there a shift? Was there a move? Was there like anything that you can think of that happened in that period that you were like, okay, I'm going to go hang out with this crowd?
No, not during, K through 2nd. The shift more came during homeschooling and going back into public school, because homeschooling, I'm not interacting with other kids. There's not a social environment to figure out. Going to church, I'm being taught all the righteous lessons that my mom wants to teach me. So going back to public school in 5th grade, all of a sudden people were mean. And I didn't anticipate that, and I didn't really understand. I remember the first week in art class, two of the kids that picked on me the most in school call me fat and then some other things. I can't really remember exactly what they said, but I cried on my art project. Aww. And I wrote a little note on the back and like pointed to the wet marks, and I was like, these are teardrops, and gave it to the teacher.
Oh my God. Do you still have that?
No, that's long gone, I think.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. And I didn't know what I was walking into. I just thought everybody was going to treat me the way they did at church, where everybody's just nice to each other. But kids are mean.
How soon after starting the school year did that happen?
Like a week into it.
Oh my gosh.
I got singled out and picked on immediately.
Just for being fat?
Yeah.
It was because you're fat. That was
and
the
also
thing.
Maybe being a little bit of a square or a know-it-all. That adds to it too.
Well, and you were smart.
Exactly.
That's a problem sometimes. Okay, so you start getting picked on, you start getting called fat. All right, I got a question. I'm sure you remember exactly what they said, exactly where you were sitting, exactly what you were wearing, all of the things when those words happened. Mm-hmm. What did they say specifically?
I wish I could remember it quote for quote, but I remember sitting on the floor in the art room because we had to do group projects, and one of the kids was in my group. And I was probably wearing a collared shirt because I wasn't allowed to dress myself for school. I always had to wear a collared shirt, and I always had to like look nice. Um, and I used I think it was a red colored pencil to write my note out that I remember.
So was image really important to your parents growing up?
Yeah. We were the family where it didn't matter if I was bawling my eyes out in the car in the church parking lot. You got to put on a straight face before you go into church. You have to act like everything's fine. It was the toxic family, and what people thought of us really mattered. We wanted to, I think, be something that we couldn't and something that we definitely weren't. And what that did was like stump our ability to express ourselves with things that we didn't understand or things we were confused about. And it turned into this today.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Try and stop me now.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So were you raised with a lot of shame?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And mind you, everything is okay now, but I remember a situation where my sister and my mom had poked fun at me for being overweight. I remember grabbing a bag of chips, and then they blew up their cheeks like chipmunk with air. And I didn't catch it at the time until I think like a couple minutes later when they explained what it was.
Oh my
It
gosh,
was
so
a
you
fat
didn't
joke.
even get it at first? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, mind you, again, this is years ago. So the relationship I have with both of them is much different now. But I do distinctly remember. I couldn't escape it at school, couldn't escape it at home.
Okay, that breaks my heart actually in like a million pieces. I mean, I was a fat girl. I was a fat kid. So I feel that.
And like you'd never expect it today. You know, you look at us today
Yeah.
and you say that and people are just aghast.
Right, totally. I have to bring up proof. I'm like, here's my before picture.
Do you have that one picture that you use every time?
Of course, yes. Yeah, it makes me look the fattest. Because then that way it looks like I did a lot. Well, I mean, I lost 98 pounds. That's a lot.
Dang.
I need to get the last 2 off, though, because it needs to be 100.
Right.
But I always get to like 98. And I'm just like, I can eat this Twix. It's going to be fine.
And the fact that you don't round it up on your own, you're 98. You got the detail down. Yeah, absolutely.
Accuracy is very important. Is it important to you?
Depends on the situation. I think it's circumstantial. There's
Interesting.
like hanging a picture. So I taught myself how to undo some OCD. Every picture that hangs in my room is off center.
Oh, so you did this to yourself on purpose?
Yeah.
Remind me never to go to your
Exposure
house.
Therapy. Yeah, no, you'd hate it. You'd be trying to fix things. I'd tell you,
I'd
I'd
lose it.
call it out in you. I'd be like, dude, you gotta let it happen.
Ugh. Now, okay. So I do that with other things, but
Okay.
like pictures on the wall. When we were setting up for today, you saw me like, is it level? Is it level?
Yes, yo.
Because it drives me nuts.
And I'm just, we could probably fix that in editing. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. You know what's so funny about that too is you won't be surprised by this, but I used to mess with people by literally going and
Yeah, and you thought you were doing something.
I did for certain people. If I knew it really
Right.
bothered them and I wanted to watch them squeal,
Oh, it was
I was
targeted.
I was
Okay.
just like that. Like how you're saying, like, you like to be able to get reactions. I love getting reactions out of people. I've always loved getting reactions out of people. As far back as I can remember, like I was the biggest bully to my little brother.
Okay.
Thank God he forgives me. I was so mean to my little brother, and I'm 5 years older, so I would like run down the hallway and like, he'd be trying to run, play with me, and I would just like run from him, and he'd be so upset, and I'd run in my room and shut the door in his face, and he'd be like knocking on the door because he wanted to play with me, and I was like, I don't want to play with you, go away. I mean, I was like so mean to him. It was awful. My parents should have like taken me out back, honestly, like an old dog. Like I was so mean to him. It was not fair.
Parents should have just tried again.
Dude, they didn't try the first time. I'm adopted, so like wrong selection, But yeah, I was awful. But I'm always like getting reactions, and it's interesting to see like how that develops like as I've gotten older and more mature.
Right,
So
right.
like now I like to surprise people with free houses and shit. You know,
Hell
it's like a
yeah.
totally different type of reaction.
It doesn't always have to be malicious.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Now I'm not doing it to like get a reaction out of my little brother, but now it's like, oh, well, you know, whatever. And I have a girlfriend named Kelly. Kelly is like, she's my bestie. And she's like that. And she literally, this girl shows up without warning. Like, I think she's done it at least 6 times to me now.
Okay.
Where I'm just like minding my own business. And then here homegirl pops up. Literally did it at my wedding.
Okay.
In the Cayman Islands. Told me she couldn't come. She was a wedding venue. So she was like, that's wedding season. I'm sorry. I can't make it. I literally get driven to the site for the wedding. They go to open up the freaking door to let me out of the car, and it's her.
That's so
And I was like,
sweet.
you bitch. I was
That
like,
is so
you know,
sweet.
yes. So she's like that. She likes getting the reactions. I tend to attract people like that as well.
Hey, I
Hence
think,
why you're sitting here, I think.
and you find the strays.
I totally
Yeah,
do. And, you know,
absolutely.
I mean, they're more interesting to me.
Yeah, and we know how to pick them out too.
I
You
think
know,
we
if
do.
yeah, if you are one, you know what to look for.
Absolutely. It takes one to know one, baby. I mean, come on. Like, yeah, I think that lots of times we're recognizing certain things in people, and there's things that are very similar to us. And I think for me, I never really had this like feeling of not belonging. I don't think I ever really like cared if I belonged or not. I think part of that comes from being an adoptee, because as an adoptee, I knew that there was like always this other world out there. You know what I'm saying? But I never like worried about the like not fitting in kind of a thing. I just always marched to the beat of my own drum. I was like the little social butterfly. I had friends in every single group, and I would just walk around at lunch to everybody. Like
Right,
I never
right.
had like my group of people, you know, and I don't think I ever felt like I needed it.
Okay.
So then when you go back into school, you have these kids that are making fun of you. Mom and sister are reinforcing this at home. We love you, mom and sister.
We do.
So then you were like just constantly getting it. Like you said, you couldn't escape it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So then what happened?
So that all of that not being able to escape it outwardly makes it develop inwardly. So I started developing a really negative self-dialogue, and then also I was raised where, unfortunately, the association that my brain made was my value, it only comes from my accomplishments, and like it has to be perfect. I have to overachieve. I have to excel. So failure is a real bummer for me. So dang, I guess that's a weird connection. Having the failure of not being skinny while needing to be perfect was probably a storm. That's probably why I'm tired a lot. I was tired since I was a kid.
Are you? Do you have a hard time going to sleep at night?
Once
No.
it's time, I can knock out pretty
Typical
well.
man. My husband can literally lay down and go straight out, and I'm just like sitting there for 3 hours trying to like, where's the melatonin? You know, like I can't. I just can't. I can't. Okay, so that's not. I don't know why that's not surprising to me, but so do you think it might? Okay, let me ask you it like this.
Yeah,
Let me
what
ask you
you
like this.
got?
All right, so if you are say chilling, laying in the bed, do you feel guilty?
Sometimes, so only during the day.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's at night, I guess because sleep serves a function. But
Oh, so it's still performance.
true. That's a good way to look at it, actually. I'm still trying to do what is expected of me by whatever standard is out there.
Did your mom used to tell you how many hours you're supposed to sleep every night?
They
Or go to
wouldn't-
bed at this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like had the bedtimes, and then they would come wake me up. Like even Sundays we weren't allowed to sleep in. Mind you, we had to get ready for church. By the way, we faked being sick every Sunday to try to get out of church. To the point where like we knew it wasn't working, but we were still gonna try.
Hey, A for effort, baby. It's fine. It's fine.
Now these days, up until probably 2 or 3 years ago, I did struggle with being able to lay down and relax, but especially lately, having gone through the back surgery that we'll eventually get to, having gone through the ICU and all that jazz, not being able to do anything really taught me that, hey, you've been neglecting your body for so long. It's okay to listen to it and like let it be tired and to rest when it's tired. It was a really hard change to adapt to though, because I'm always go, 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 go.
I'm going to ask you a hard question.
What's up?
Who is James Ruby?
Dang. How much radio silence do you want?
Tell me, who is James Ruby?
We might have to cut to where I come up with an answer. The easy answer is like what you see is what you get. And then the other answer is I can't really know. Who I was an hour ago isn't who I am right now, because an hour ago doesn't exist anywhere but my head now. And it's kind of like defining ego, I would say. I think the ego exists to keep us physically present. This whole thing is ego because it's a removed individual of creation. And I think it's necessary, but you have to keep it on a leash. Whereas without ego, there would be no separation. And that's where we start understanding that we're all stuck on the same rock together. We could very well be the rock that we're stuck on. It's just we have these physical boundaries that I think they call ego. So there's, it's not the typical like, oh, he's a funny dude that
well, those are traits.
Skates. Yeah.
What's interesting to me is you didn't start with roles.
Roles.
A lot of people start with roles,
What do you mean?
especially like if you were raised in an environment where performance, measurability, productivity, all of those types of things are held at such a high standard. Image is very important. Usually when I ask somebody that question, they either don't know or they'll say, well, I'm a son. I am a dad. I'm a this. I'm a that. And those are things that you do. That is not who you are, right? So if you take all of that you just talked about away for a second,
okay,
who is James Ruby at the core of who you are? Minus ego, minus roles, minus what you can or cannot accomplish.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm just a dude that we can also pause it there. I'm just a dude, but I'm just a dude that I've been through enough in my life where the purpose I feel in life to be James Ruby is to make sure that others don't experience what I've experienced. Or if they are experiencing it, not because of me, to help them walk through that. Because going through a lot of what I've gone through in my life, I felt very alone going through it. Just because, it was really hard to talk about problems in our household. And then growing up in the church that we did.
What kind of church was it?
It was a non-denominational, but if you pull up any list of cult traits, it'll match all of them except for maybe one. And I always say, you're not a cult until the media labels you one, but it was pretty close. It was pretty close. And so even if I confided in people at church, it got back to my parents.
Oh, yeah. So no safe place.
Yeah, can't trust no one.
So you couldn't really have your own opinion or anything.
No, absolutely. I couldn't be outspoken about it, at least.
So it's all inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then right after that fifth grade transition, kids are calling you fat, all of that, then what happens?
Go into middle school, which is a separate school here where I grew up. Pediatrician tells my mom I'm going to be obese as an adult. Yeah. You didn't see cocaine and bulimia coming, did you, buddy?
I hope he watches. Shout out to that doctor.
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on. Let's talk it out on the show, dude.
Right.
And so going to middle school, up until about last year, the year before, I weighed the same as I did in middle school, and that was around 160, 165 pounds. The bullying consisted, couldn't escape that because...
But you were like getting taller and not gaining weight, right? Or were you still gaining?
That wasn't until summer of 8th grade going into high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would fluctuate a few pounds here and there, but I didn't get, much bigger than what I was already stuck at.
Okay. But were you still overweight at that point?
Oh yeah.
Like how much how much we talking?
There's 160 pounds when
and
I
how
was
tall?
5'6", 5'7". This was before all the growth spurts.
Okay, listen, sir. 5'6", 5'7", 160 pounds is not fat.
Then I might have been shorter. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. We're talking like fifth, sixth grade, and you were a boy.
Yeah.
I'd probably say you're more like 5'2".
Okay, that's probably accurate.
Yeah,
then.
and then you're a little chubby at that.
I'm a tall person, so I'm crap at anything that's below my.
How tall are you?
6'3".
Okay.
And that's a legit 6'3". I know people pull that shit where they're like, "Oh, I'm 6'3" and you're 6'2". No. Put me on the wall and check my license.
Listen, my license said for a really long time that I weighed about 80 pounds less than I did, so I wouldn't trust anybody's license, okay?
That.
Just saying. The license lies.
That's funny.
I can't tell you, like, there's a whole thing amongst people that struggle with weight loss. Like, I had a former client, I used to be a health coach, who sent me a picture the other day of her driver's license and then of her new driver's license. She goes, "I'm finally the weight that my driver's license says I am."
What a goal to achieve.
I mean, that's a thing. Like, we do, especially girls, we do that shit.
I mean, aim for it.
Why not?
Fucking do it. If the number's there, aim for it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so 8th grade, and now we're starting to shoot up and get taller.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I grew 4 inches in one summer is what they said. And then I discovered through my so that summer I grew the 4 inches. And then my freshman year, I unintentionally developed anorexia. I just didn't eat a lot.
In 8th grade?
No, not in 8th grade. That was start of my freshman year.
Start of your freshman year. Okay,
Yep.
9th grade.
Yep, 9th grade.
And you're just not eating?
Nope, not eating.
Medication or anything? Like, was there anything that started that?
I think it was more like stress induced.
Huh.
And also too in middle school, because of the pressure of my grades, I developed, they said it was either 6 or 7 stomach ulcers.
How important were your grades to your parents?
If I got a B, it was a problem.
Yeah, same with my parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I know, I took AP wasn't in middle school, but I took the pre-AP and all the like smarter kids classes, and the work became a lot to keep up with, and I didn't really have as much social life freedom as like I would say other kids did because
same. Did we live the same childhood?
Yeah,
like this
probably.
Is wild.
I think so. So going into 9th grade, being bullied all the time, basically having to collapse into myself because the world was like such a painful place. I really think it was just the stress of all that where I just did not feel like eating anymore. And school only gave us like 30 minutes to eat. Getting through the lunch line would take 15 to 20 minutes. And I would just wait till I get home and have some snacks or something.
Do you think you were depressed?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There we go. Depressed. I was depressed as fuck. Yep. And I remember, so fortunately, my parents are boomers, and
mine too. Are you serious?
Dude, we grew up in the same house.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
And my story is more common than I realized.
Hold on, but you're 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And you have boomer parents?
Yo, yeah.
You had old parents.
Yeah, they had me close to 40.
Yeah, my mom was 36 when they adopted me. My dad was 41. So
yeah,
for sure.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Same life, dude.
Dude, I'm gonna be that. You realize this? I had my last one at 36. I am officially the old mom.
Yeah, but you're cooler, man. You're cooler.
I have to go with that. I don't know. My dad's pretty hard to beat. I'm just saying.
But
jeez. Okay, so boomer parents. That's still blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Image being important makes a lot of sense. Pushing the respect thing also makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Probably had a hard time saying the words "I'm sorry" and taking accountability.
Oh my God, yeah. And in the household too, whenever the parents fought, all we saw was the conflict. They, I don't know if they did resolve anything, but they never outwardly showed us them coming to resolution as a couple.
So you never saw repair.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly. And they're still together and everything, and they're making it work.
Hold on. Are you non-confrontational?
Again, situational. I prefer not to, But there's a certain point. One, if it's like somebody I care about, absolutely. Two, if there's no other option. Or if it's like disrespectful. And I mean on a sense of if I know customer service is giving me the fuck around, then it's like, all right, I'm gonna beef this up a little bit because you guys are trying to fuck me.
I literally tell people that your customer service voice went to Harvard. Like that's how I
so
describe you.
nice.
I'm serious. Like you're so good at that. That's why I was asking, like, are you non-confrontational? Because first of all, I've never seen you mad. So like that's one thing. I've never seen you pissed off. I've seen you either like down and kind of sad. When we met, you were kind of like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then other than that, you're just this like happy-go-lucky, very chillin' kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting for me to like imagine you in a situation where something crazy is going on and like how would you as a human being handle that? Like your parents arguing and like all of that. Are they like, would they ever like physical with each other? No.
No physical. They wouldn't even slam doors. I think.
Same. They would just yell at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom would stress my dad out, and then my dad would come home in a bad mood.
Yeah.
We lived the same childhood.
Yo.
How is that possible? Like, and then my mom would like warn us. She would be like on the phone with my dad, and she would be like, Mick, we gotta pay bills. We gotta do this and then the other. And my dad would be like, I'm trying, you know? And so then she would like get them all in a tizzy. And then she would come in to warn me and my brother and be like, your dad's coming home in a bad mood. Like, you guys better clean your rooms. You guys better be good. You guys better be da-da-da-da. And so just like you needed the good grades and all the things, I learned at a very young age that if I would go and like get good grades or like have something to brag to my dad about, that would put him in a better mood.
Okay.
So like I would make sure that I had that kind of stuff. And so I would be like, Dad, look what I did at school today, because
Right.
it would like recalibrate his mood. So I became like the lightning rod of the house.
Damn, and you're a kid. That's not your responsibility to take care of that.
Never the child's responsibility to regulate the emotions of the adult.
And I feel like a good way to put it too is our goal as kids basically to survive was don't do whatever you can to not be a burden.
Ooh.
You know? Does that make sense?
I was never worried about being a burden, but we should totally talk more about that. That sounds like there's some stuff behind it. All right.
Definitely.
Tell me about the first time you remember feeling like a burden.
I think it was around grades. And the way that shows up is just, you know, not being able to fail because being a failure made my parents feel some type of way. And so that started to train me to avoid being a burden at all costs. Like, don't be the reason for them to get upset. Don't be the reason that they're having a bad day. And I mean, as a kid,
You were like the good kid?
yeah.
So you went. So we went from flooding toilets in second grade to getting made fun of for your weight in the fifth grade to now we're the square kid.
No.
Not square kid.
I was square kid 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
High school is where the sense of self starts to develop.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about that guy.
He was really confused for a while. I started getting skinny, so I was new hot, and I didn't realize.
New hot?
Yeah.
Is this a term?
Yeah.
I've never heard
yeah.
this term before.
When somebody with like baby fat or somebody that was fat as a kid, you know, has their glow up moment, they're new hot. And for me, I didn't know what the fuck to do with myself. Now, I wasn't getting like female attention or anything, but I didn't realize how to be comfortable in my body. So the same kid that got shut in middle school was still inside, but I just looked pretty fucking cool.
Oh my God.
And that's where I started to have to answer things myself. And what I mean by that is growing up, if you were told no to something or for something, there wasn't a why. The why was always because I said so or because God, whatever.
Boomers.
Yeah, no explanations. And
Obey.
so- yeah, exactly.
That's Gen X
Stop
too.
asking questions.
Yes, my birth mom, that's her favorite word is obey. No excuses, no questions.
Hey.
See, and that's how my brain operates is I want to ask all the questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to
Very-
understand why. And that was really hard for me because I was taught to parent that way too. And so I parented that way for a long time. And now looking back on it, I'm like constantly like, will you guys please forgive me? Like, I am so sorry. Like that was so wrong. Like,
But you had time to catch it and like own up to it and turn it around, which is amazing.
you know, my 3 oldest are adults now. So like now I can just like beg and plead for forgiveness, but like I've gotten a second go because I've got, you know, younger kids in the house. And then I've got the poor little ones in the middle that went from like, who the heck is this woman? Because she didn't used to be like that.
Oh, it's
right?
new mom. Yeah.
Yeah. New mom. New hot, new mom. Hey. Hey. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's kind of disorienting when you have the difference. So, okay. So mom and dad are putting lots of pressure on you to perform and to be this perfect kid, and you don't want to be a burden on them. So then what happens?
And also important details. We were like the no Harry Potter family. No
Same!
Yeah, because bad wizards.
Yes, no witchcraft, no magic, no nothing. I wasn't allowed to do any of that. No Lord of the Rings, no Harry Potter.
We got Lord of the Rings. Yeah, damn. So they took you because Gandalf was a good wizard.
Homie, listen, I wasn't even allowed to be anything that was like anywhere near the evil line for Halloween.
Yeah.
Ever.
Same here.
Like I could be a Disney princess or an angel. The closest I ever got to like evil was I was Cruella de Vil one year. That was the closest.
Whoa, pushing it.
I was really pushing
it.
Boundaries. Yeah, that was the closest.
Same here. I was either a profession or animals every Halloween, something like that.
Yeah, I was a lot of those too.
Yeah. Can it be ghosts? And also too, I never really asked to be those because it was just so instilled in me that that's not what you do on Halloween.
Same. I think I don't remember ever asking that. I remember like, dude, she's now 6. My 6-year-old daughter asked me last year if she could be a witch, and something came up in me like, what? And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
It's the trauma. Yes. Let's patch it up.
Like, I don't care what you are. That's fine. You know, we're going to be fine with it.
Wonderful. You did it, dude. Right. You fucking did it.
It was hard. It was a hard one. And my husband's like, why can't she be what she wants to be? And I'm just like, my head's twitching.
She can. It's fine.
It's fine. However she wants to express herself, it's fine.
A single tear.
I know. Okay, so you weren't allowed to do all the same shit that I wasn't allowed to do. So no Harry Potter, none of that kind of stuff.
Very particular example of this confusion and me finding answers thing was pot. Now, pot happened my sophomore year, but it was still in the same general area where I had asked my parents about pot, and it was very much your Nancy Reagan just saying no. God was involved somehow.
The DARE program.
Yeah, exactly. We did DARE, and then we all failed that little lion, dude. Anyway.
For sure. Poor guy.
So I wasn't satisfied with just trust me, no. So I went to go find out. And like, mind you, the family I grew up in, once that got found out, that caused some issues. But when I tried it, you know, the voices in my head stopped.
Meaning that negative voice?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm going to ask you the hard one.
Yeah.
What did it say to you on a regular basis if you messed up?
You're fat, you're ugly, nobody loves you. People hate you. Like, almost everybody hates you. You have no friends. You're alone. Be better if you weren't here. Your parents don't love you. But then my sister and I had a good relationship with each other. But so there was no, you know, your sister hates your guts in that one. And then suicide would run around. I remember multiple times sitting in my bed just completely distraught about what was happening at school and trying to do what Jesus on the cross did when it's like he gave up his last breath. I would like exhale really deep and try to be like, God, just take me.
Wow.
Let this, yeah. And I think that was more in middle school too. In high school, I never really self-harmed, but I would punch trees until my knuckles bled. I didn't do
That's
the
absolutely self-harm.
I said it wrong. I didn't cut.
Okay.
I didn't cut. Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know,
You just punch trees until your knuckles bleed.
exactly.
Okay, I got
exactly.
you. All right.
When
What did the tree do to you?
listen, the tree wasn't a person, and then it's not, there wasn't going to be drywall to repair afterwards. So it was
Okay,
just,
that's
it's a
fair.
very viable option.
That's fair.
And not having one, when you don't have outlet for emotion, you don't understand emotions, and not knowing how to express them or how to deal with them, I had to do something to get them out, and that was punching the trees. Yeah.
And I think a lot of times anger is the only acceptable, especially for a boy, right? Like boys aren't allowed to cry, like stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about is a very common one, right?
Yes.
There's so many little things that the boomers said like that caused, and I'm not blaming anybody now today. I'm just saying, okay, this is the result is of those types of sentences. When you don't allow somebody to express their feelings and their emotions, or you mock feelings, or you say things like feelings aren't facts, or right? You've heard that one.
Yep.
And the don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about, or go cry in your room. Nobody wants to hear that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go cry and
Go be alone.
Yep.
Go be alone. Your emotions are shameful.
Yes.
Go to your
That's
bedroom.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then you become ashamed if you feel anything that's overwhelming, and you don't have any way of knowing how to express that.
Exactly.
Like, and it's foreign to you. Were you
Yeah.
like a very like hot and cold kid? Like, were you like happy one day and like, did people used to make fun of you for being bipolar and stuff like that?
Yeah. And I'm finally getting diagnoses in my adulthood, but I'm on the border of where the first bipolar starts. So I'm not the harder bipolar, but I'm on the border of where the other one is. So yeah, one day, manic, and then I'd have periods where it's just everything fucking sucks.
I was very much like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would be like cool, and then I was not. And I think like some of that's probably hormones and stuff as you're going through puberty, right? And but at the same time, did your dad work a lot?
Yeah.
So is he like always distracted, always on the phone, always on the laptop, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, he worked 30 minutes from the house, and it was, your typical 9 to 5. And then in my teens, when I started hitting puberty, his job changed to where he was taking business trips. And so we were without dad for longer periods of time.
And was mom like super stressed out?
Yo.
Were you the kid that had to like, you learned how to walk on eggshells?
Absolutely.
You probably got really good at like listening to the tone of her footsteps,
Yes.
right?
Okay. Shout out to everybody that knows what that is.
Yes.
My heart goes out to you. That shit sucks. It's a skill today,
Yeah.
but having to develop it at that age sucks.
Well, it creates hypervigilance, right? Like you get so good at like, I know this about you. I'm the same way. You can walk in any room. You can scan immediately, and right then and there who's in a good mood, who's in a bad mood, who's safe, who's not, who to be scared of, all the things. And it's like you feel your shoulders go up, like like immediate. Yes.
Yep.
Be ready.
Yep.
Be ready at all times. And I was never beat as a child. I don't even get it. My
we
parents
got spanked.
okay, my mom chased me and my brother one time. We were absolutely goofing off and shouldn't have been. My mom chased us with a wooden spoon.
The spoon spooky.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. Oh, it was Mr. Sting. That was his name.
Damn.
And he lived in her purse. And like, yes.
The purse.
And so if we were out in public and we started acting up, she just kind of flash it real quick, It was just like, you see what I brought with me, right? And be like, yes, ma'am, And so I remember we were running, and we were not supposed to be running. We were running in the house, and my mom's like, "Yo, guys, stop it!" And she was so mad. She busts out Mr. Sting, her little spoon, and she starts banging it on the counter. "Yo, stop it right now!" And it broke in half, and it flipped up and hit her in the face.
Oh no, that's it. That's it.
She started laughing, thank God.
No way. Okay.
She was like,
Comic
I think in
relief.
shock. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all like, we couldn't run anymore because, we're laughing. Like, it was hilarious. I will never forget that. She went from so mad to just like pop in the face with the freaking spoon. And then she's laughing. And then we were just like, yeah, that was funny. Maybe we should go back to running now. Like she ain't got a spoon no more.
Speaking of the spoon in the purse, let's talk about that for a second. If I had a partner that all of a sudden were carrying around this wooden spoon in their purse, I'd be like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, it's weird.
What do you mean you're carrying a stick of wood with?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, like, I think that was a James Dobson thing. I'm almost sure that he's the one that came up with that idea and told all the boomers that's what they should be doing.
Really, to carry it with
Yeah, or just to use a spoon, a wooden spoon, for example. I might be totally wrong and blaming it on him and not meaning to, but I heard somebody say that the wooden spoon era was the James Dobson stuff.
That's the first thing I'm Googling after.
Me too.
Yeah, I need to know where that's from.
Yeah. So you were disciplined with a wooden spoon?
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of it?
No, I don't think so. We got enough to where we remember it, and Mr. Sting was a thing in the house, and also we got spanked at church sometimes.
Like by your parents, or
okay. Oh yeah. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm about to be like, where is this church?
Yeah, we didn't. Fortunately, they didn't have that characteristic, unless like the parents gave them permission while we were in the kids' room during the service or whatever. They were always like, they act out, just
smack them around a little bit. Yeah. All right. Okay.
And God forbid we sit in the most boring Sunday service on the planet and not be able to fucking sit still. God forbid.
How long until you got diagnosed with ADHD?
Brother, that was probably like 18.
Dang. Yeah. And you're a survivor.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it took a suicide attempt. Actually, no, it was fucking 20. And it took a suicide attempt to finally get to a place that paid enough attention to do that for me. And I knew this shit since 13 or 14, especially about the depression. But again, boomer parents, dude, like...
Nothing's wrong with my kid. Because if something's wrong with my kid, that means that I did something wrong.
Exactly.
So I can't. Right.
Yeah, it don't exist.
Right.
What do you mean you're not happy? Just be happy.
Shove it in the corner.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly. I'm not a terrible parent. I won't let you ever think I'm a terrible parent.
Right. It's that image thing.
Yeah.
And it's so sad to me because I see so much of that with estrangement today. Mm-hmm. Because if you listen to the conversation online, so many estranged adult children will say, my mom can't take accountability. My dad can't take accountability.
Right.
Well, that kind of... where that comes from, the inability to take that accountability comes from a parent who was raised with a lot of shame. Mm-hmm. And that was how they were raised. They were raised with the should statements. You should have done it this way. You shouldn't have done that. You should have known better. And then the what's wrong with you?
Right.
I've heard that one for sure. Shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself, like all of those statements. And when that happens, and this is a question I have for you, because when you're raised in a household like that, what ends up happening, because those are statements that tie our identity to our mistakes. And lots of times we have a really hard time separating those two. So it's like, not I did something bad, it's now I am bad and there is something fundamentally wrong with me. Right? So did you feel that way?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And I only remember having relief from that when I would go walk around my neighborhood at like midnight or 1 a.m. smoking a joint. That was
your regulator.
Yeah. And that was such a special time to where it's like, this is my fucking space. And, the pot would turn, all the voices off. Nobody could really bother me. Everybody's asleep. Mind you, I snuck out to do this. There was no going out the front door for that one. I had to go through
I snuck out too.
Yep.
on the reg. Okay.
Yes,
all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's, that was the only relief that I would get from that. So we have a foundation that's got a bunch of building blocks for just despising yourself. And going back to the perception thing, like being able to walk into a room. I have a friend that's really into astrology, and she knows like what the different degrees mean. And she's like, she told me I have a certain Pisces placement where somebody could walk through the door and I could know that they hurt their left foot on June 13th at a Walmart 3 miles away or something like that, just from the way they walk.
What?
And I don't miss, really.
Really?
Yeah, when my perception goes off, I don't miss.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I love it.
I'm going to go hide now.
It's unfortunate too, because people don't believe it until it comes out. So there will be periods where I'm letting somebody know about a person, and I just have to deal with the fact that they're going to be dealing with that person for a while until it finally the ball drops and they come back to me and they're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Wow, that's kind of wild. That's a whole other level of hypervigilance, I think.
Dude, yeah, it's
Ooh. Okay, so did you grow up feeling like the invisible child?
not really. We didn't necessarily have that one. Well, okay, maybe that manifested later. So when my sister graduated high school, I don't remember if they bought her a car or if they just paid for the lease on a car. But I remember her getting all these things because graduating and going to college is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So she got, because she was walking the path that they had laid out, she got all these things. Whereas when I graduated high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew college was a fucking scam because I'm not going to invest $100,000 in something that I'm not even set on. So I didn't go to college, and the help that she got, I didn't receive that because I went against the grain of the path. And I think that's where I felt unfavored as a child.
Othered.
Mm-hmm.
You just got othered. Look at the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if you go all the way back to second grade, you got othered from that situation. Mom pulled you out of school and made you a homeschool kid. Then you go back to school and now you're the fat kid. So now you're othered again. And then is that not it? Like, this is a repeated pattern. Is it not?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then look, and then you're othered in a different way because you're the what was it called? What's the name? But the new hot.
New hot.
New hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's a label, right? So like that's another form of othered, because it's like not everybody gets to be new hot, I guess, right? Like, you have to like drop the baby weight and get hot somehow where people notice, I guess. I don't know. And then here it goes again. And it's just like, that seems like it's been a consistent theme for you.
Absolutely. And my sister and I both consider each other ourselves as black sheep of, the entire extended family. I'm the one that's tried a lot of drugs. I'm the one that didn't go to college. I'm the one that went the other way with the Christianity we were raised in. And so I really want to know where the standard that they were trying to make us achieve came from, but I definitely didn't shoot for that. But I'm more proud of the person I am today because I didn't. I think I was fortunate enough to become the person that little bullied 12 to 13-year-old me would have loved to have in his corner. I always wished that there was some cool guy that like everybody wanted to hang around and was super likable, to see what the other kids were doing to me and be like, fuck you guys, I'm hanging out with this kid. And I got to build that.
Did you just feel like really unchosen?
Yeah,
think?
absolutely.
So if James Ruby, Double on the Rocks, could go back right now as who you are today, you said that you are that person today. If you could go back right now into that little boy's room when he was in there crying alone, where he literally felt like there was nobody that even wanted to listen to him. Nobody wanted to be his friend. Everybody hated him. Even his parents didn't love him, all of this stuff. And you knew what he was thinking and you knew all of those things. What did that little James need to hear?
I've been asked this question before, and I've got we'll dive into that right now. The answer is the same. Is this is where you're gonna get me with the tissues, dude?
They're right here.
Yeah, yeah. The answer is you just need to hear that we made it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I sat down, and this wasn't like a guided meditation. The idea just kind of came to me to do a series of meditations, extensively, where I went back to the three lowest points of my life, and I made sure it's very visualized. Like, I remember how the bed felt, I remember the clothes I was wearing, I remember what was going on that made it so bad, and the present me drove to all three of those locations where that kid was at.
Oh my gosh.
Went into the building, sat with that kid, talked to that kid, and then walked him out to the car and drove him here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can you talk to me about that? Can you tell me
Absolutely.
what those places were, what you were thinking, what you were wearing, all of those details?
Yeah, yeah. The youngest one, that was gonna be, I think I went back to sixth grade. My sheets were, there was a very like 90s pattern on them, some that you would think would be wallpaper. They're a little scratchy. They're not like silky, but they're not, I didn't wake up with rashes. I remember what my bed looked like that had a pull-out drawer underneath it, wooden frame. I remember the Peanuts banner that ran along the middle of my wall. I was wearing a very loose fitting shirt. It was a light tan shirt, and I think there was a stain on it, like a salt stain from sweating or something like that, and black and red basketball shorts. And that day, I got bullied on the way home on the bus. And just after how consistently it had been happening and like it wasn't stopping, I hit a point of this is too much. And I just tired of it, just exhausted. Um, and so driving to him and sitting on the bed with him, just hugged him. Just hugged him, and I told him it does get better and that nobody understands right now, but I understand. And I grabbed his hand and walked him through our house, past the TV and the TV cabinet, through the white front door with the two windows on the upper half. And I had a 2006 Toyota Avalon at the time, and I put him in that Avalon and drove him to my room here today and made sure that he was settled in the present.
Mm.
Yeah. And then number two was 20-year-old me who had just gone through his like first serious breakup. Like, I thought, I did the thing where you think you're going to marry this chick. Yeah. By the way, don't talk about marriage for like the first year or two. Yeah, that was a trap.
I got married the first time at 17. Keep going.
Damn. It happens. I had gone through the breakup, and I had put too much into this person to make me feel okay. I didn't really demand it of them, but I relied on them for me to feel okay, which is a codependency thing. So remember being at work, at a restaurant, in the kitchen, and she had just texted me that she was getting on a plane to go somewhere for summer vacation or something like that. And I could tell something was wrong. And so I texted her and just told her, I was like, if you're going to leave, just say that. And then she broke up with me. And everybody I was working with, like, knew I wasn't okay. I told them what happened through, like, choking on my breath. And so I ran out to my 2001 Honda Odyssey. It was gray.
You had a minivan.
Yeah, I had two minivans. Yeah.
Matches the hair, baby.
Plus, they don't get pulled over. I called the suicide hotline. I had a knife with me, and they helped me like secure the knife as best as they could, given the environment I was in, where it's like, okay, put it in the glove box. Like, let's not touch it or look at it. And then they went ahead and sent me home from work, and I was sitting in that minivan plotting how I was going to kill myself. And I texted my roommate at the time too, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And honestly, and people may not agree with it, but he gave me the realest response that I respect the fuck out of him for that response. He said, "Don't worry, dude, I get it."
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I feel like he would have intervened if it required, but hearing that from somebody, because I already think the world is like the worst place ever. You know, I get so tired of the fluffed up, like, there's so much to live for, and
Right.
you're missing it. It's like, shut the fuck up. I don't care right now. Everybody tells me that. I don't care. When? When does it get better? So that was the first person to get it. So I really appreciated
You
that.
felt seen?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like when an artist you don't know comes out with a song that just hits you right in the heart. It's like somebody else feels this.
I wonder if it was a combination of things for you. I wonder if it was you felt seen and understood in that moment, but he also kind of gave you your own agency to make your own decision.
This is true.
He didn't try to like sway you in another direction. And if you grew up in a very high control type household, right? And every decision is guided and encouraged or discouraged or disciplined or whatever, you don't have a lot of autonomy.
Yeah.
And in that moment, he gave this kid that felt trapped,
Yep.
felt like there was no other way out. Even as you were talking, I was thinking about this. When you were really young and you were describing the bullying, you were like, I just couldn't escape it.
Mm-hmm.
You're trapped
Yeah.
by bullying.
Yeah.
And this guy didn't try to sway you.
Yeah.
He just said, it's okay. I get it. Those were powerful words.
The most organic answer I've ever gotten when I've been on the edge. You know, everybody gives you the generic same shit.
Yeah, it's almost like it comes from a script book.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, man, it's going to be all right. Things are going to get better, you know?
But nobody gives you permission.
And that's what he did. He gave you permission. He gave you autonomy. And he said, if that's what you got to do it. And I get it.
And I use that to this day when I help others come off the edge. And I think just that freedom, because I let them know, like, you have the right to take yourself out of this experience whenever you want to. I'll be really sad, of course. Like, everybody's going to be super upset. But you don't have to stay here. And I think it's like a sigh of relief for the people I tell, because none of them have ever followed through with it after.
It's almost like they can let their shoulders down.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's keeping you here. And I think once they realize, it might help them realize it's a choice. And then they get to make that choice fully because they've had both sides presented to them.
And it also could be because they are in a place where they're feeling trapped, like they're feeling emotionally suffocated in that moment, you know? I've been there. I think that having somebody literally be like, it's okay, I get it.
Yeah.
That permission to just do what you want to do because you're expecting the opposite.
Yeah.
You are not expecting somebody to be like, all right, go ahead.
I already got my arguments ready, you know?
Right. Like
Yeah.
you already have rehearsed it in your mind, you know, but that didn't happen. He just told you like, hey, if that's what you got to do, I get it. Like that's powerful.
Way to shock my ass, you know?
Yeah, totally probably destabilized you in that moment,
Yeah,
right?
honestly,
like, wait a second.
Helped me feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. Wait, I do get to choose whether I do this or not.
Exactly.
I was feeling like I didn't have a fucking choice 2 seconds ago, but now you're right. Actually, I don't want
Right?
to. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I changed my
You
mind.
know what? Now I don't want to.
Yeah, like it's like almost like, you know, I was definitely like this. I have a feeling you were too, but you told me to do something. I ain't doing it.
Exactly. I was going to clean my room.
But now that you want me to do it, I'm outsies. It's not happening.
Yep. Next time, just keep your mouth shut. Everybody will get along.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a pigsty forever.
Exactly.
Okay, I will eventually clean my own shit.
And I want to do it when I want to do it. You know?
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so then the third time.
Third time was right before. Not right before. It was after another breakup. One that I wasn't going to kill myself. Like, I only ever tried once. So after this breakup, I think I was 22 or 23. The terminology she used during the breakup was "you're a monster," and something about that really scrambled my psyche, because it's like, okay, if somebody's telling me this, what am I doing? And then trying to figure out what it was that I did that made me a monster in the relationship, and not seeing monster behavior. And so trying to decipher, am I a monster? How was I a monster? But I stand by my actions still. So am I a monster? It just broke my brain. And I stayed up that night crying because I couldn't figure it out. Things that like I can't get the why to or an answer to always piss me off. They stress me out.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. We're
Not allowed to ask. Remember?
exactly
No
we
excuses.
are fixing the inner
Mom
child.
said so.
Yep. As dead on as we can, we are fulfilling that inner child and going to find out the why of everything. And I doubted myself so much, and that was here. I completely doubted who I was. I just remember it being extremely confusing. So what I did for that one was I got in the car and I just drove around the block and pulled right back up to my house, because that's where I was.
That's where it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like he left and came back, the new guy. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I had to pick him up.
Right.
Still had to pick him up. Had to get him out of there. My sheets were... beds are always huge in this thing. It's always like what I'm sitting on and like what I can feel, because I still remember how the seats in my minivan felt with their carpety
Almost like this.
fabric.
Very similar.
Yeah, except this is better. This is better. Yeah. And then my bed had maroon sheets, and I was on a futon mattress. And I hadn't painted my walls dark gray yet. They were still... So my sister got to pick the colors for the house that we were living in. And at the time, she was on par with what was popular. Now it looks like a fucking psych ward. It's that green, that light green, and like inspire happiness and whatever. I went to a place to get a medication refilled one time, and they had the same color, and I was like, bro.
Oh, no.
Fuck no. But I sat with him, and, you know, I think there was about 3 years of a difference, and I was able to reinforce him that, like, dude, good on you for trying to figure that out and questioning it. Not everybody's right when they say shit like that. And I think it's always worth reflecting on your behavior, because like I will find things that's like, okay, I know I did that out of emotion and I don't stand by that action. Let me do something about that. But if I can't find something that I wouldn't do again, or wouldn't say again, or wouldn't stand by, then sorry, that was me then. That was me.
We have so much in common. Okay. This is my next question, because just as you're saying that, this is all I can think of. Did you feel chronically misunderstood?
All the time.
And as a result, I'm questioning, if you had something overwhelming that got brought up, and if you tried to bring it to your mom or your dad, were you told things like either you were lying, you were manipulating, or you got dismissed? It's not that big of a deal. You shouldn't let that bother you. Oh, shake it off. It'll all be okay.
Absolutely downplayed every time.
And as a result of that, are you the type of person that doesn't trust yourself a lot of the time, has to call 6 different people before you make a decision?
Used to.
Okay, well, this is good.
Yeah.
But it seems as though the part that's still sticking around that's connected to that is mischaracterization bothers you a lot.
My God, yes.
Listen, you can talk about your experience, but don't make me the villain.
Right.
Talking about your experience is literally like, this is how this felt, and this is what happened. This is the behavior. Calling somebody the villain is telling them who they are.
Yeah. Yep.
I think first of all, don't tell me who fuck I am. Okay? Do not tell me who I am. Don't tell me what my intentions were. Don't tell me why I did something. Don't. I mean, there will be people that will say that I'm doing this podcast for attention. Promise you. Has nothing to do with that. I genuinely enjoy deep conversation. And I think that this is a tool that can be used for people to see themselves through other people.
I love that.
Through stories and things like that. And I do this all the time in my house. I might as well record it, okay?
I love it.
Help somebody.
Yeah,
so why not,
absolutely. It's like somebody sitting in the chair next to us.
Exactly. You guys get to be flies on the wall, I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Right? But that bothers me a lot. And that's what it sounds like you're describing, is the same thing as like somebody telling you either how to feel or telling you why you did something or calling you a name that you do not identify with.
Exactly. And what really like seals the deal on that is the not being able to explain, not having the opportunity to explain.
You're not allowed to. Yeah.
Exactly. And that drives me nuts. And that's where today there are times I feel misunderstood, because it's like you're not getting it. Everything I do has at least 3 levels of reasoning to it. And like you're not understanding the reasoning that led to this behavior that was exhibited or whatever. And it's like, at least pretend like you're trying to.
That was me. I was the chronically misunderstood kid, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I wanted was somebody to be curious.
Right. And that's so Julia.
Yeah.
I had my friend do it too. She cried with the note.
Did she?
And that's, I think, where the emotion from the note that she writes is from. And Julia's explain Julia real quick. You say it best.
Julia is an app that I created. Did I tell you the story behind it?
No.
I didn't tell you the story?
Let's do that right now.
Oh my. Okay. All right. Well, it's on par with the conversation for sure. Okay. So when my dad was 15 years old, both of his parents committed suicide 2 weeks apart from each other at Christmas time.
Wow.
And my dad was the one that found both of his parents. Yes.
Damn.
So the night that his dad died, my dad remembers hearing, it was two days after Christmas, December 27th, 1961. I remember him telling me that he heard a family member in the kitchen talking to another family member, another adult, saying, well, what are we going to do with him? And he just like internalized in that moment, like, well, I'm a problem, like I'm a problem that needs to be solved. Right.
Makes sense.
So he ends up moving in with his aunt and uncle. I believe they were cousins in the house. I might be wrong, but my dad was grieving. And back then, 60s, you didn't talk about stuff. Feelings, emotions, no, were hard, were tough. He's a man, right? And he was only 15. I have a 15-year-old son right now. Like, I can't imagine. And his brother had already gone off into the service, and he was really alone, right? And he moves in with the aunt and uncle, and he's drinking and fighting and just, all the behaviors that you would expect now, knowing what we know about human development, right?
Right.
Everything that you would expect out of a grieving kid that just literally found both of his parents dead, self-inflicted, right? And so he gets kicked out of this aunt and uncle's house for bad behavior.
Because God forbid.
Right?
Yep.
And so the only other place he has to go is his grandma Julia's house. So he moves in with Grandma Julia, and he's 17 by this point. He's still doing all the things, and he comes home one night, and he is so drunk he cannot make it up the stairs to his upstairs bedroom.
Okay.
And he passes out on the stairs, and he wakes up the next morning with a pillow underneath his head, a blanket on top of him, and his elderly grandmother asleep with him on the stairs.
Get out of here.
I'm serious.
Dude.
And she could have chosen to yell at him. She could have chosen to lecture him. She could have shamed him. She could have said so many things, but she just met him where he was.
Shit.
So when he woke up that morning and he saw her laying there, he told me, like, all I could think about is, I can't hurt this woman anymore. And he decided to change his behavior right then and there, because this woman also just buried her daughter. Yes, that was my dad's mother, but that was her daughter.
Right.
And now she's taking care of this child who is a hot mess, and she just loves him anyways, And so that was my dad's first real example of what emotional safety is.
Sick.
And I've told this story a lot of times, but growing up, my dad was very much so what we were talking about. He was emotionally volatile. He was very, very angry and very moody and all of these things. And it wasn't until in my situation, I moved out very young, 16 years old, and I went estranged from my parents for a year. And I was like, I can't do the control, guys. Bye. See you later. Right. And then I came back 9 months later. And when I came back, I reconciled with my dad. And, I always knew that, like, my dad's parents weren't alive, and I might have known that they committed suicide, but, like, I never got, like, the story. Like, I never knew any of these details, right? But after I came back, my dad became my person. My dad's my best friend in the entire freaking world, hands down. I call my dad every day. Like, that's my dude. Like, I took him on a daddy-daughter fishing trip to Alaska 2014. I go and surprise him every chance that I get. The whole liking reactions thing. Love to surprise people.
I love that.
Love it. And that's so, awesome. Yeah. So it was, such an interesting thing, because then I learned about that. And I look at my story and I look back at what I was going through, and I thought nobody could understand. And the thing that I was, like, having a hard time trying to, like, verbalize, because I just didn't have the words for it, right, was like, why wasn't I important enough for these people to, like, want to leave me? Why did they leave me, right? Like, I'm adopted. Like, why did they leave me? Yeah. And if I would have known my dad's story, I would have realized and been able to resonate with the fact that my dad was asking the same question. Why wasn't I important enough? Why did you leave me? Yeah. And then you bring in, my dad learned at such a young age that important people leave. So he held on really, really, really tight, too tight, way too tight. And that's why I laughed.
The whole other way.
Yeah, pendulum swung the other way, and I laughed, and I was like, I'm never coming back. But my parents were good parents. My parents did love me. And I saw behind the anger and, the frustration and, like, all of that stuff. Like, I saw the tender sides of my dad before. My dad is a very mushy marshmallow man. Okay. Like, he used to put on this persona of this, like, machismo kind of guy, but no. No. My dad is a freaking marshmallow. Like, favorite human on the planet, hands down, love the guy. But yeah, that's the story of Julia. And so Julia became this amazing light in his life. And unfortunately, that didn't last for very long because 2 years later, when my dad was 19, he walked into the house and she was dead on the kitchen floor.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So he got that for just a little while.
Yeah.
And then not too long after that, I think he might have been like 23, 4, something like that, when he married my mom and got diagnosed with cancer. And had a lot. The poor guy went through a lot, and then, couldn't have kids because of cancer and all these things. And then they adopted me and, all of that. And like, I look at that entire thing together and I'm just like, oh, well, this all makes sense why he was so angry.
Right.
He never went to counseling. He never got to process any of that stuff with anyone. He just stuffed it all. It's going to be okay,
Right.
whatever. Threw himself into his work. That's why he worked so much.
Yep.
He was very, very focused on performance, which is also why he raised me to be very, very focused on performance, So it was like, A's are the only option. You have to get
Right.
good grades,
Right.
you have to keep your room clean. You're going to wake up on Sunday morning and go wash the cars with us. That's what we do,
That's what kept him sane.
It was.
Yep.
It really was. And so this past year, actually, it hasn't even been a year yet since I developed the Julia effect. But in November of last year, I'm the Y kid like you,
Yeah.
And I have a degree in psychology. I didn't go back to college. I didn't graduate with my bachelor's till I was 30. Okay.
I bet.
So it took me a long time to go back. So just so you know, you're not behind,
Sweet,
friend. You can
dude.
still go learn about that
Awesome.
stuff if you want to.
Awesome.
But absolutely no pressure, because I know what pressure
Thank
does to
you.
you. I would never trap you in that. I would never give you that expectation. So I'm just saying.
Thank you so much.
It's there if you want it, baby. That's it. It's that
Shit,
simple.
yeah.
So I got my bachelor's in psychology, and then I just kept doing all these stupid little certification programs, right?
Okay.
Like just whatever I could get my hands on that was like why we do what we do.
Yeah.
For me, it was like I went through my third divorce by the time I was 30 years old.
Okay.
And I was like, I got to figure this out.
Yeah. What the
Like,
hell's going on?
what is the problem
What am
here?
I doing?
Like, I remember the first time somebody was like, well, you realize you're the common denominator, right? I was like,
Boom.
oh,
Boom. Not everybody can hear that either.
there might be some truth to that.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Yeah, I did. And so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when I was like, oh, okay. And I had never done counseling. I refused counseling. When
Okay.
I was a kid and I was going through all my shit, I refused counseling. I remember my parents taking me to the counselor in that whole like suicidal era, right?
Yeah.
And then like I wouldn't get out of the car. And so they brought the counselor to the door.
Yeah.
I sat there like this on the window. Like, I am not going in there. Like, it is not happening. Fuck you. Okay. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I never, ever, ever went to counseling until
Uh-huh.
I was going through my third divorce.
Okay.
And my kids had to go to counseling.
Word.
And
okay.
the counselor, an amazing, amazing, amazing human being, her name is Joanne. Shout out Joanne. We're sitting, talking about the kids, and she's asking history and stuff and whatever and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like telling her all the things. And she was just like, have you ever thought about going to become a counselor? And I'm like, well, I know. Actually, I haven't. I've always thought therapy is kind of stupid. She's
Yeah.
like, what about it is stupid? I'm like, I wouldn't know. I've never been. I don't know. And she's like, you realize everything that we just did right now is therapy, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
This shit kind of tight.
she's like, I'm going to recommend some books. I could not stop
Yes.
researching it. I could not stop. I got completely just like, so much so that I got my bachelor's in 20 months.
Let's go.
I was like,
Damn.
woo!
Chuck that out.
Bad. 24 credit hours a semester while raising 6 children.
Damn.
Working. I was in college when I met you, actually.
At the bar?
At the bar. Yeah, I had 6 children that were
Yeah.
all under the age. Let's see, how old are they now? So my oldest is 21.
Okay.
So we met 9 years ago. Okay. So yeah. So like they were 11 and under or 12 and under at that point, 6 of them, because it's my oldest. And I was going to college at the same time. And I was just like, I could not stop. And it was like answering the whys, you
Yeah.
know? And I
Yeah.
love understanding why people do what they do.
Yes.
So that kind of started this snowball effect. And I started learning about the nervous system and all these things. And what I noticed was there's patterns.
Yeah.
There's patterns in everything.
Shit, yeah.
Everything we do is patterned, even down to the clothes that we wear, like all of that. Like you, somebody who felt trapped growing up and chronically misunderstood. Those are the 2 big themes. The third theme is you felt othered, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the top of our list, that trapped feeling that kept coming back up, Somebody who feels trapped is obviously not going to let anybody tell them who they are. They're going to wear clothes that don't match the norm or that are allowed or that somebody's going to notice, right?
Yep.
They're going to have tattoos of things that symbolize their own freedom, their own autonomy, something that doesn't match, something that's weird, something that's totally random.
Yep.
Anything like that. Like everything we do is patterned. And so I developed the Julia effect. And on the Julia effect, you can actually download it if you want to, but I made it into a GPT because everybody knows how to use Chat GPT. It's the easiest way, and it didn't cost me $150,000 to have it made. So I have it all programmed to where it will ask you 14 completely non-invasive questions that are literally just looking for pattern recognition.
Yeah, and they're so
right?
cute too.
Yeah.
One of them's like, what are your favorite Disney movies?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's looking for these patterns. They all have arcs. They all have patterns, right? And so once it finds those, and it's like, oh, this is what's important to this
Locked
person.
on.
Yes. And it's so stupid accurate. Do you have your letter from Julia?
I think so because you sent it to me.
I did send it to you.
So
You should read it.
You want me to read it?
I think you should read it.
Oh no. Okay.
I think you should read it. Oh, hold on. Before you read that, let's talk about why this even happened.
Okay.
Because first of all, do you remember what I said to you at the bar that one time?
Yo, not verbatim, but I know when. So you were the person that helped direct me to where AA was.
Was I really?
Yep. You told me about the 720 Club and all that. And then also, I think it was you. I think I had told you that, like, well, I can't get Coke anymore, so I'm just going to drink.
Yeah.
And you just straight pointed out, replacing one thing with another.
I told you sober is sober.
That too. I remember walking out of, it was either like my first or second meal, and I was like, I don't think drinking is my problem or something like that. And then, you hit me with sober is sober. And that literally kept me from going to the gas station or the bar that night.
Wow.
Straight up. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, she's right.
And I don't know why I wrote you the day that I wrote you this last time. Like, I haven't talked to you in probably like 2 years or something like that. Like every once in a while we'll catch up on Facebook or whatever, but I don't know, like something was just like, I need to check on that guy. I just need to see how he's doing. I don't know. Maybe I saw somebody with dreads or something and it made me think of you. I don't know, but I was just like, I need to check on him. I need to see how he's doing. And I wrote you, and you said something to me that made me feel extremely seen that day.
Yeah.
You did. I don't know if you remember what you said, but when I was just like talking to you, asking how you were, and I found out where you were, and we'll talk about that here in a second, you told me that you always have like the most motherly words at the right time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's a gift.
wow.
You have. Yeah.
That's something I try to have.
You nailed it. You crush it.
Well, thanks.
Seriously. Not like, even after just meeting you for as short as I did, and then just keeping up over the years, you've always just irradiated this very safe motherly energy.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, you crushed it on that. And I'm very grateful you do that. Maybe I'm more picky, but I don't pick up on that energy like very often. It's a very rare energy, and I think it's just rare in general.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I like being rare. Thank you.
Well, don't we all? Maybe
Well,
not everybody.
I think the kids that were raised with a lot of performance pressure, the word ordinary is a terrible, terrible word. Okay. So we want to be special.
Our performance gets us validated as fuck.
Yeah, it does. For sure. It's like,
And what's funny too is when you hit me up, and this, there's a whole bunch of in between that we can go through. When you hit me up because you had a hankering that something, I bet you cosmically something told you something was up. I was in the hospital with pancreatitis because of excessive drinking.
so where did my sober is sober go? Before you read that letter, let's go there.
Nah, that's going to have to be a whole ass episode. My escapades in AA, that we're going to need to dedicate an episode.
We can do that, but I need the synopsis. Give me the short version.
Okay, the way that I sum it up is And Heroin Anonymous, when you're hearing people share in a meeting and telling newcomers if they're not done, go get done, when we all have the same list of the people that fucking overdosed and died on us, it's like, that was when I was like, I'd rather go fucking drink than hang out with you people.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what sent me back to the other side of the tracks, because I had even approached them about it, and all they did was like tear me down, and they tried to take my inventory for me, and I was like, so you guys don't give an actual shit. You just want to look cool saying all these stigmas and all this alpha male bullshit, and my people keep dying. Like, fuck that. So that pendulum swing. I've gotten my pendulum under control over the years, but with that one, full scented.
So you were only smoking weed until what point?
Around 19, maybe 18. I tried coke at a party, and ADHD and upper that locked me in but still made me feel up. Off to the races, dude.
Did you get hooked like the first time you tried it?
I wouldn't say hooked, but after a few times, you kind of want that feeling pretty regularly. And then that's when the drinking kicked up. Coke and drinking go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a dangerous combo physically too, because your body metabolizes them into cocaine, and that's way harder on your organs than just alcohol or coke alone.
Okay, so you're not even 20, so this is before the breakup with the girl where you were suicidal and you're like doing coke and drinking and all those things, not going to college like mommy and daddy told you to. Yeah. Where are you living?
I was living in their old house because they had moved here and I was renting it from them. So I was still back home with my old stomping grounds and people, everybody I knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you go from that, then what happens?
Also, quick shout out to that girl. There was a situation where I told her I was doing coke, and she like literally broke down and cried in front of me. And at the time, I was like, it's just coke. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really grasp what that meant to her at the time. So that's my bad on that one. But also I was in, very terrible place. You can call it addict behavior, but I mean, that behavior started way before the drugs came into the equation. I was just a broken person. So my bad on that one.
Do you think it's because like she showed you how your actions were impacting somebody else and you had to kind of come to grips with that?
Maybe now, but at the time, the selfishness that I had, I was not paying attention.
So then why did the crying part bother you?
It didn't bother me until I got sober.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I looked back and I was like, fuck.
Wait, hold on. Is this the girl that calls you a monster?
No.
Oh, okay.
Different one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she hit me a couple of times, so there's that too. But anyways, yeah, teeter totter, tit for tat. No, it wasn't until I got sober that it hit me that it's like, dude, that's not fucking normal, James. Like, you can't do that.
Okay, so cocaine and drinking, and then what? What did that turn into, and how long?
That turned into doing it every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Most of the time.
Were you working?
Yeah.
How the fuck? Okay, functioning.
All the bathroom breaks. Yeah.
Bathroom breaks.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, there's toilets in this coke room, dude.
Maybe I can make them overflow.
Me and toilets, bro.
Especially drinking and throwing up.
Oh
You know, it's a
God.
porcelain. What do they call it? A porcelain throne.
Throne, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe the issue all along has been toilets.
Holy shit.
Maybe it's an outhouse that just.
Whoa. I'm not paying you enough to be able to tell me these things.
So I had to find you a little sharp bracelet or something that has a toilet on it
Do I
now.
have to give you my insurance now for all these revelations?
I'm serious. There's a lot of toilets in your stories. Like, it's very interesting here. It started with a toilet. It sounds like it almost ended with a toilet.
No shit, though. But yeah, it was like Corona, a 24-pack of Coronas every night. And then I easily worked up to 2 to 3 grams a day.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's when you start, you partake in the environment to be able to afford the environment, if that makes sense. I don't want to go into too much
Or
detail on that.
Can't too much to throw it in.
Yeah. It's one of the big smallest rules. Broke it immediately.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was able to afford what I was doing. And
Street pharmacy. I got you.
yeah,
I
exactly.
understand.
And
Writing your own scripts.
exactly. I knew what I needed.
Yeah. Just, I like to say that, you know, you were resourceful.
Yes, that's a very
Entrepreneurial minded.
Stop it. So entrepreneurial one is so funny.
Sales is a great job. I understand.
Nailed it.
Just saying. Okay, so now we are thinking outside the box with how to get what we're getting. And you're how old at this point?
Let's say 19.
I want done by the time we're 19. Holy shit.
Oh my God. Half of it.
Well, we need to. I'm gonna need the tea. Start spilling. I know I brought water, but we might have needed tea.
Then did heroin a couple of times.
Oh, that was just so casual. The way you just threw that at me. Oh, I just did heroin a couple of times.
It's just heroin.
It's just heroin. It's just heroin.
Heroin.
Hold the phone. Are we talking like intravenous using?
No, I was a snorter.
You can snort heroin. Okay, I'm still swearing that.
It's way more effective if you do it through the veins, but I have tattoos because that's a different needle than having something stuck in your arm for more than a second.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I don't like having my blood drawn. I hate seeing IVs in my hand. They're
Triggering.
Yeah, shit weirds me out. Because it's like something sticking out of me right now. It's weird. So I did heroin a couple times. Wasn't really my jam because it was a downer. And wrestling like with coke and the speed of like the processing speed I would have for my thoughts, heroin stopped all thinking. And that always gave me anxiety because it's like I can't form sentences right now.
Oh yeah.
So I felt mute.
You couldn't perform.
Yeah, there you go. That is so true. That is so true. It's almost like the first essence of me kind of losing control.
Because you couldn't perform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because what if mom walks in?
Well,
Versus on the other one, you were like, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it 10,000 times. I got it.
I can make her feel okay about anything.
You're right.
Yeah, I've got the words for it.
Right.
Accidentally did meth.
Accidentally?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
So the Adderall comes in a 30 well, it used to come in a 30 milligram tablet, and it said 30 on one side and 80 on the other, and it was a circle and it was orange. Well, that production stopped, yet those tablets were still on the street. So they had sold the recipe to another company that was producing that recipe, but they changed up the markings on them. So any AD30 that you found, and I didn't know this because I didn't have like structured rules in place, like, you know, everybody should test today. Everybody should test everything that they fucking get today. Back then it was a little bit different. Fentanyl wasn't really on the streets yet. It was pressed meth with they just get a binder and then an orange dye powder and then they have the pill press that puts the AD and the 30 on it. And I didn't find out until I took one that, so the dosing on those, never consistent. You're not going to get the same dose twice. And so I took one that was a little too amped up. And I went down the rabbit hole on Reddit and figured out that I just got a bunch of fake ads. Yeah. And Adderall's amphetamine, and then there's methamphetamine.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can still get methamphetamine prescribed if every other stimulant doesn't work. They
Really?
put you through everything else first, and then you get a really small dose of methamphetamine. I think the brand name was called Desoxin or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. There's clinical application to it. So I had a week with those, but meth had so much of a nasty stigma to it that once I found out it was meth, I was able to just flush the rest.
That image. Think about it.
Toilet.
Well, no, let's go back to the toilet. Think about it. Like, image was so important to your family.
I did glamour drugs. Yeah.
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 Because, like, meth, that's like a hillbilly drug. We can't do that, right? Like,
That's rotten cheese.
that exactly all the things that matter. Like, you can at least hide it if you're doing cocaine,
Right.
right?
And all the fun, successful people do coke, you know?
Do you see it? Like the celebrities, right? Like that's the stigma that goes along with cocaine. But like when you think of meth, that's not what you think of.
So true. That's also probably why, despite not liking downers as much, I was still okay taking pills because that's another glamour thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that damage even shows up in drug abuse.
Yeah, it sure does. The
That's
patterns are everywhere.
Yeah.
Even, the types of drugs that you choose. Because think about it. Why did you choose the drugs that you chose? Why did you not keep doing meth? Because of that.
Right.
You literally were able to be like, oh, well, I don't want the stigma associated with this
Right.
drug.
Right.
And
I
walk
was
away
able
from
to
it.
put it down.
You've heard of people that get on meth one time and they're hooked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You did it for a week and you were like,
Hell
no, I'm worried about my reputation with this one, honey. My image is a little bit more important. I'm gonna stick to my glamour drugs.
I like sleeping.
Right? Yeah. See, I'm telling you, there's something with the sleep thing too. Like there has to be. Like your mom probably was like, you need to make sure that you eat enough and you get enough sleep or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that was all part of health for sure.
So then like I
And-
wonder,
The sleep was attached to the grade thing too, is like get good night's sleep.
so that you can perform tomorrow.
Exactly.
And if you couldn't sleep, then you couldn't perform. So meth is out.
Then I was a burden. So meth is out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna say it went down the toilet.
It went down the damn toilet.
And it'd be funny if I call this episode something to do with the toilet. At this point. I'm just saying, like James the toilet man.
The shitter.
James at the sugar. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we were on the meth pills. I haven't taken the meth pills, but you're on meth pills for a week. How old are you at this point?
That was 20, and that was right before I moved here.
Okay.
Yup. So that
What caused you to move here?
everybody else went. My parents and my sister came here for college. She got a good scholarship. Dad brought him and mom down here because of job opportunity, and I had just gotten broken up with by the only person I'd ever loved in my life.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
So I was like, "Fuck this place.
I just got othered 3 different times. My family left me. The girl left me. I gotta go.
I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so you came here, and then what happened?
Uh,
Wait, how long after you moved here did I meet you? Because I'm doing math. You're 29. I met you like 8 or 9 years ago. I know that you were just like 21.
You met me pretty quick. I started hitting up your bar probably a week or two moving into.
Oh, so you were a fresh pavilion when I.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was fresh off the boat, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't realize that you were brand new.
So talk about resourcefulness. I found coke here my second day being here.
You told me that.
Yeah.
That day I met you, you told me that.
No shit.
Yeah.
I was so proud.
Dude, you were. You were.
Like,
There was like, I remember a couple different things that you told me that day when I met you. And I remember like the first one was we bonded over the fact that we were both the fat kids. Right? And then I remember you telling me like about you were like, I'm in a bad place. Like, I don't know why you trusted me with that information when you did, but you did.
That energy.
Some of the energy, baby. But yeah, you were like literally like, first of all, you were hot to try one of my coworkers.
Oh, yes.
Big time.
Yes.
And I was like, slow your roll on.
Yeah.
You don't want
she,
that.
she had a dude at that point, too.
Yes.
Yep.
You did not care at the moment. You wanted some attention.
I came in
Hot.
Yeah.
Came in hot. And I was like, okay, we're not going to do this. First of all, just whale. But then you secondly, like this, no.
Ego was trying to reinvent itself.
Well, I think that you really wanted just somebody to see you. Like, I feel like that was so much of what you were, and I might be completely wrong.
That's fair, though. No, I think that's really fair.
Because you did come and you just started opening up and telling me, like, you're like, yeah, I'm an addict and I just moved here. Like, I didn't realize it was that quickly.
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, I got stuff like literally the second day that I was here. I remember you telling me it was the second day that you moved here that you got, and I asked you what your drug of choice was, and we went down that road and had that conversation. And you kept coming back because you were trying to chase that tail of my friend. Mm-hmm. And I got a couple more conversations with you. And then that was at that point where I told you about, the club that you needed to go hang out with. Yeah. And at that point was when I remember the conversation, hey, sober. Like,
yeah.
Sober.
Yeah. And I distinctly remember with the street like the color that the street lights, how do I say this? It's how they lit up the street and what was around it. Like I remember the very dense orange that's like lightened up by a little bit of yellow, and sitting there with my phone brightness up, reading that message on the corner of the streets when you sent that. Yeah, that one's locked in. And also too, creature of fucking habit, and the bar that you worked at, I knew my sister had taken me there before I had moved from here. So I knew, so it's like,
it was familiar.
I could get, yeah, exactly. It's not spooky.
Yeah.
And then aside from going to work, I didn't talk to anybody really. And so unfortunately you got
I got to be the therapist without being a therapist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then, okay, but you were good for like a minute, right? Like you were doing pretty well.
Yeah. For about 7 or 8 years. Yeah.
And then that's a long period of sobriety.
Yeah. I was slowly reintroduced to drinking. AA demonizes it. And I'd spent so long in their ideology that I was like, let's find out why.
Oh,
let's go.
Oh, we're going to test those limits.
Exactly.
You're not going to control me. I'm not going to be trapped by the ideology anymore.
And also, like, the church we grew up in demonized everything. So it's like,
all these rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby, let me have some autonomy, please. Like, what's all the rules? Yeah.
And also, AA kind of operates like a belief system. So I wanted to go find out more what the logistics side of it was. Because my niches are, I love learning about drugs. I want to be a neuropharmacologist whenever I get the chance and can afford it. So I, books on books. And some of the stuff that they were saying in the big book, it didn't align with the science that we have today.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, mind you, like, we can't really use my experiences to say all be all end all, because I definitely took it to an extreme. But it started off very slow. And I was like, oh, not in jail. I'm driving. I didn't fight anybody. But according to, like, this book, I'm supposed to, all this bad shit is supposed to happen. And it didn't. And mind you, there's a lot of other factors that played into how heavy I was drinking, too. And
when did that start? That was like a year or two ago? When was this?
It was a year ago as of February when situation happened where there's some betrayal.
This is a girl.
Yeah, and then trying to rebuild that trust. Everything was super complicated. Everything was stressful as fuck. And then also, and I like the way it's said in Euphoria in the last season, where the AA guy that meets Rue at the diner has his book, which is equivalent to my list. He's basically just talking about like being so fucking tired of investing in all these people, and then they're dead, and then they're dead, and then they're dead. And so he picked up a drink. I don't think he drank it, though, from the way that it sounded. But for me, I think just because of how rapid all the loss happens, I didn't have time to deal with the previous one for the next one.
You lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
How many?
92 as a Jason.
That's a lot of grief.
Yeah. And I'm 29, dude. Most people won't lose that many people in their fucking life.
Well, and you're also like a very relational human, and you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you attach quickly to people. I feel like you become closer to people.
Actually, yeah. Because I think, people that put up too many walls to not attach to people, I think it's very much a defense mechanism and anticipation to getting hurt.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Anticipatory grief.
yeah, I'm not worried about that, So I like,
Because your brain.
shit, if that's the way we're going to put it.
That's it. You're brave because you're willing to go back into the lion's den just to have some love, is what you're willing to do.
And not to shit on anybody else that's been through an experience like mine, but the ones that tend to be more jaded, it makes me upset because it's like, then you didn't invest in these people while they were here. They're fucking wonderful people. It's always the wonderful ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of grief and then a different kind of grief. It seems like the girls tend to derail you a little bit
Yeah, absolutely.
because you're just probably so emotionally invested, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then what happens when, say, you're betrayed in a relationship, get cheated on, something like that, or whatever? What does that internal voice come back? The one that used to beat you up?
No.
How'd you get rid of that little slimy fucker?
It's a Don Miguel book. He wrote the 4 Agreements. It's The Voice of Knowledge is, I think, the title of the book. And the key part of it is we can't listen and speak at the same time. So if something is speaking up here and we're listening to it, that's not us.
Wow.
That's every social standard that's been spat at us, that's been ingrained in us. And the way that I did it was I would literally catch it as it happened and would like outwardly express, no, we're going to be respectful. And I just did that over and over and over until that thing was finally shut the fuck up. Yeah.
I had a conversation with somebody about exactly that yesterday. As a matter of fact, and you carry a lot of shame. I had an angry parent, and so like that angry parent is that voice, And so I asked them. I said, if you were to say walk in on that little child being talked to the way that you are talking, to yourself, but like walk in on the experience that happened to you with the dad, yelling at the kid, and you now have internalized that voice. If you could intercept that right now, are you going to let that dad still say those things to that kid, or what are you going to say to him? He's like, I would absolutely, no, I would lose it. I tell him this behavior. It's like, okay, so I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah.
The next time you hear yourself bullying that little boy in your head, I want you to tell him exactly what you would fucking tell that dad.
Fight that motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell him, who the hell do you think you're talking to like that? I don't think so, honey. That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna talk to me like that.
And that's exactly how you need to do it. And you have to be very vigilant about it because we get thousands of those thoughts a day.
Well, they say that the human mind does like 60,000 thoughts a day or something like that.
And
Lots of them are repetitive. Yeah.
Most of them hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you get control of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's hard, man. What a hard skill to learn.
Because you're breaking years of that dialogue being pushed into you.
So who was your inner voice?
It was a mixture of things, really. It was everybody telling me what I wasn't or what I wasn't going to be.
God, I hate that so much.
Yeah. And, just overall lack of faith in myself. And
Who had a lack of faith in you?
I think most people, and this could be, something that I need to work through. But at the time, I felt like most people didn't have a lot of faith in me because I felt like fuck up.
No.
And I was still a very go-getting, want to achieve person. I was just making some decisions that really fucked up my life.
Yeah.
And so I always had lack of faith in myself because of that. Where now it's like, and I was texting you the other day about helping me regain some of my confidence because I still slip up with it. But it's like recognizing that, like, dude, I got fucking handle business, dude.
It's so wild to me to even think for a second that you would struggle with confidence.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're just such like I'll tell you my view of who you are. I mean, I don't want to put anything on you that you don't agree with. Okay. We're going to just, because I hate it when people do that to me. But my perception of you, just like when I met you, I was just like, this guy is like a lighthouse. Like he is just like this light out in the world that's just like shining. And he's like that warm light. He's not that cool light. He's 2700 all day, right? Like he's just this like super sweet, just wants to love people and wants to he just exude this just happy, positive energy. And like, you're the type of person that I could never ever imagine getting mad. And I'm sure you do.
I do, yeah.
But like the idea, I have to sit with that because like I can't see it. And honestly, like you're the type of person that I could see making stupid money just off of who you are. I'm so serious. People pay big money for people like you because they literally are such good problem solvers and so good at making people feel at ease. And I think that's something that's a gift that you have naturally. Like just the way you text. I mean, like just like you just know how to make people feel comfortable immediately. Like it's a superpower. I really feel like it's a superpower.
Thank you. I've been called a lighthouse plenty of times before. So like I truly believe it.
It's not a toilet.
You did it went the other way.
Yes. Kind of safe. Did a little bit of design, but
and then the issue I find with I would love to make money just being who I am. I feel like we've been overrun with these let me sell you my classes.
Oh yeah.
A piece of shit alpha male. I have to really believe in
absolutely because you value authenticity.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want sell you bullshit.
But I feel like you value authenticity. I can see that in many parts. Look at you. This is valuing authenticity, right? It's an extremely authentic human being who is like one of a kind. That's who you are. But at the same time, you also aren't a fan, I don't feel like, of performative. If that's the opposite of authentic, right? Like if somebody's just putting on a show in order to get your money, you would feel bad about yourself doing that. I'm the same way. I can't stand it. I technically am a certified life coach. You will never hear me say that. Well, now I guess you will, but you'll never hear me say that because I'm not, I don't want anything to do with that. Plus, I don't like groups. So the word coaching, coaches coach groups. I'm not built like that. So that ain't in me. So I'm like, but I don't like the performative thing either. Like if you're not going to be real with me and you're just going to be fake with me, like somebody that's fake like that, you don't understand me. And that's what I'm looking for is somebody I need to feel seen. I need to feel understood. That's why I asked you if we were the invisible child, because not invisible like your parents ignored you, but nobody saw you.
That's true. Okay, that definitely clocks. Because it wasn't run of the mill cookie cutter, I wasn't near as invested into things I want to try or what I want to do as my sister was.
So you were othered.
Yeah. And I was stuck playing piano for 11 years when I think it
I hate the piano.
I wasn't allowed to quit, and I was like, I wanted to try this when I was 6.
Unless you were trapped even in piano.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to quit.
I hated it.
And now we wonder why you're such a, autonomous human being, trapped in all of these things.
That's one of my most favorite parts of being an adult is I can pick something up, fuck with it, and then if I'm tired of it, I can just put it down. I get to try things and stop them when I don't want to do them anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
A jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
I think that's a great quote for sure. I think that you're like that with human beings.
Absolutely.
Right?
I will say, once I was able to take control of the dialogue in my head, I became so much more effective at helping people feel okay being human.
That's a gift.
Yeah.
What a
And I
beautiful gift.
love it. I love it so much.
Speaking of feeling seen, let's go ahead and let's finish your story about why you landed in the hospital,
Okay.
and then feeling seen. Let's end it with your letter from Julie.
All right. Love it. I love it. Okay. Hospital. Well, okay. We'll start with the back issue. So I herniated 2 discs
Ooh.
in my lower back. This leg was basically unfunctional. I could move it, but if I stood, sat, or walked for too long, and I'm talking like give it 45 seconds, immediate searing, crippling pain.
Oh my gosh.
Yet the only relief I got was from laying down.
Mm.
And I dealt with that for 2 months before finally owning up that I needed some fucking help because nothing was changing.
Tell me you were raised by boomers without toes.
Exactly.
Your arm's falling off. Don't even remember to be fine. Band-Aid on it.
And for those 2 months, that's really where drinking picked up because I couldn't fucking do anything. I was just stuck in my room. I would just DoorDash alcohol every fucking day. Just get drunk.
The DoorDash will not do.
Yeah, I got to know some of them, and I'm not proud of that.
Oh, no.
That helped block out like what I was dealing with, because it's really tough for me, especially now, to not be at the functional capacity that I was at. Facing
Because of your back.
yeah, exactly. I used to be able to do so much more. I'm still young, but my body's struggling through certain limitations now that it's taken me a minute to accept and respect. So then I get surgery, start walking around, moving. The first time I could stand and pee without pain at the hospital, I was like, I'm fixed. That was awesome. And then for a couple months, drinking became the habit. And then there was a night where my stomach hurt all night. And this was more than some of the tummy issues I've had from drinking too much. This was more of a searing pain and just consistent. It wouldn't go away and it wouldn't give me a break. So we went to the ER. We went to an ER that's famous for misdiagnosis with sepsis. And I won't name drop. If you know, you definitely know. And they put it on gallbladder. They took full lab workup, still put it on the gallbladder, sent me home. And that night, it got worse. And so I was able to get like 2 hours of sleep through the night. But when I would turn in bed, I felt a fuck ton of liquid go with my stomach and like settle,
Oh my god.
Yeah, like it was following the gravity So we went to an ER in the city, and they're doing the full workup. They hit me with the Dilaudid just because of the pain that I was in. And as their whole team's working, because that ER was honestly super dope, really good working with each other. One of the doctors came back and goes, "James, you're septic." And I was like, I was on the Dilaudid and going through everything, but like my vision just locked in on him, and I was like, "What?" And so they put me into the ICU because all my vitals needed to be monitored 24/7 while they tried to treat what they think was causing the septic symptoms. And it was either a perforated ulcer in my upper bowel, the ulcers I got when I was in fucking middle school. They don't go away. They heal, they don't go away. I can always rip them back open again. And then pancreatitis. And about 2.5 days in the ICU, they moved me to a regular hospital, discharged me. I was fine. A week later, I can't, every 2 hours, I'm throwing up. It's a bunch of bile. So we go back to the ER, and then I'm in the hospital for 11 days. Fortunately, in my own room, as they were treating pancreatitis from the excessive drinking. Some of it's from trazodone, which interacts with the stomach lining. I took that for sleep for 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they didn't know that until recently, so I don't blame the doctor that put me on it. And a mixture of other things. There's a whole slew of gold that need to make this pile of shit. Yeah, and in the hospital, you text me. I tell you I'm in the hospital. And it was really encouraging getting to talk to you. Just fucking sitting in the hospital.
Yeah. And you had a tube up your nose.
Oh yeah, they had to drain the bile out of my stomach, and so they shoved a tube up my nose, down my throat, to suck it out. And what I use today, whenever I feel like drinking, is I just remember the crack that the tube made once it got past my nasal passage.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was the tube or if that was me. I still don't know. I didn't ask questions, but I just remember hearing it, and I immediately just go to that.
No.
I don't want to do that again.
Blech.
And then you had let me know about Julia, and I so down to try. I would have been down to try it outside of the hospital anyway, but nothing's going on in the fucking hospital.
You were born. It was perfect timing.
Yeah, I'll see
Yeah.
it right now.
Yeah. Well, read me a letter from Juliet.
Let's do that. And
Nice
also,
and slow.
yeah. And we said it earlier too. Julia got my friend to cry as well.
Yeah.
I cried. I cried in the hospital bed after I read my letter from Julia. Also, Julia told me everything about myself that aligns with a certain accuracy that other tests haven't.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah, it picks up on very particular details because Myers-Briggs, it's like you're kind of getting your general horoscope where it's not picking up on you, it's picking up on a classification of people.
Right.
This is very personalized.
And it's different because personality, that is your survival adaptations. That's what you've learned to do in order for you to feel safe, right?
That's right.
And this is nervous system level. So this isn't like, look at your behaviors and your traits. This is why do they exist?
Yes.
So it's a
Yes.
level deeper.
And I like too the way that you put it where the nervous system doesn't really change.
Mhm.
You interact with it differently, but this stays pretty consistent. So we'll read what Grandma Julia has to say. Okay. Letter from Julia to me. There's something about you that feels like open water, not because you're distant, not because you're hard to know, because there's a part of you that was never meant to be fenced in. When I look at you, I see someone who learned very early that life does not always keep the people it promises to keep.
Can we stop there for a 2nd?
Mhm.
Why does that one get you so bad?
The next sentence is, I see the names I still remember. And I don't know. I think it's the tone and presentation of it. But it feels more like somebody understands the weight of those names.
Now, although that is AI, I absolutely trained it to do that on purpose because my goal is for you to feel seen.
Yeah.
And on such a deep level, not surface level,
Yeah.
like get in there, right? Like
Yeah.
just get gloves on and let's go.
And let me tell you, mission accomplished.
Good.
And I know, like, the
Making grown men cry since November last year. Maybe. Actually,
You're
for a
gonna-
lot longer than that. But
it's gonna crack tougher nuts than me, I promise. And I know AI's got its little controversies and everything, but it's not like, I don't look at this as AI talking to me like, oh, AI told me
Right.
this to me. It's like, no, this is put in a way that if I needed to explain myself in a way for somebody to understand, this would be it.
well, and I used to do these manually. It was taking me forever because I had to like look up all the lyrics and I had to do all of these. And I had, oh my gosh, it was taking me forever. And then somebody mentioned like, why don't you just let AI do it? And I'm like,
Boom.
because all I needed was pattern recognition.
Yep.
And they're instantly going to look up the things that I can teach it exactly what they have to look up. So I was like, here we go. Perfect. So like all of those letters, I crafted those in a specific way. I'm like, go back and reference this part and go back and do this part. So there's a formula to it that I taught the GPT to where it does do exactly that.
Yeah.
And I literally kept going with it until like 9 out of 10 people were crying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if it, and it says in the rules on the coding, it says, if it doesn't produce tears, you failed. Literally says that.
That's a good standard to make it live
Just
up
saying.
to. That's amazing.
Okay, can you go right under that last sentence that got you. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do now.
No, you got it. You're good. I see the names you still remember, the conversations that ended too soon, the people who were here one day and gone the next. I see how those losses settled into places inside you that most people never notice. And I feel super seen with that statement. You don't talk about all of it. Most people won't know how much memory you carry, but you do. You carry pieces of people, pieces of moments, pieces of stories. And sometimes a song catches one of these pieces, and suddenly you're standing in the middle of your day feeling something much bigger than anyone around you realizes. I see that. I also see how often you've been the steady one, the one who figures it out, the one who adapts, the one who keeps moving. People often call that strength. But what I see is survival. I see a man who learned how to keep walking even when parts of his heart were still sitting beside roads he left years ago. There's a difference. You learned how to carry things. You became good at it. So good, in fact, that people often assume carrying comes naturally to you. What they miss is how heavy it gets. What they miss is how exhausting it is to always be the one holding yourself together. What they miss is that even people who love you don't always see the effort it takes. There's a loneliness in that, not the loneliness of being alone, the loneliness of being surrounded by people while certain parts of you remain untouched, unheld, unnoticed. I think there have been seasons where you needed someone to look at you and simply recognize how tired you were. Not fix it, not solve it, just see it. The way a shoreline sees every wave that reaches it. The way a quiet summer night absorbs the sound of fireworks after the crowd has gone home. The way familiar music can sit beside grief without demanding anything from it. You deserve moments like that. Moments where you are not performing competence. Moments where you are not carrying history. Moments where you are not expected to be the calm one. You're allowed to rest. You are allowed to need. You're allowed to set down pieces of the weight you've carried for so long that it started feeling like part of your identity. And James, I want you to know something. The parts of you that learn to survive are not mistakes. The guarded places, the independent places, the places that refuse to be owned, those parts were built for reasons. They were trying to take care of you. I don't look at those places and see flaws. I see a man who adapted to the life in front of him. I see someone who kept going, someone who kept loving even after loss, someone who kept feeling even when feeling hurt. And most of all, I see someone who is far gentler than the world usually gives him credit for. You do not have to become someone else for me to stay. You do not have to explain yourself perfectly. You do not have to prove your worth, your loyalty, your heart, or your pain. I am not disappointed in you. I am not overwhelmed by you. You are not too much. You are not a burden. You do not have to carry every piece of this life by yourself. Tonight, imagine the sound of water meeting the shore. Imagine the quiet after the noise fades. Imagine the air carrying the scent of sandalwood while the world finally stops asking anything from you. Stay there for a moment. Nothing to prove, nothing to carry, nothing to outrun. Just you and someone who sees you. I am here. You can rest here. Always, Julia. I hope it never stops making me cry. I hope that hits the same every time, and I think it will.
Right, always does.
Yeah. I've never gotten that before. And so consolidated in one place. Because a lot of that, like, one thing will pop up at a time in my life. And it's like, fuck, this is something that somebody doesn't get. But to see them all laid out, it's like, and to be allowed to be fucking tired and exhausted.
It was interesting too about your back surgery statement that you made is you couldn't perform.
Yeah. I couldn't put on.
You literally couldn't perform. You couldn't get the grades, right?
Oh, shit.
Because you were physically disabled. And then what happened is you chose to drink to try to get away from that feeling of not being able to perform.
Yep.
Right? Because that's so deep for you. It was such a deep wound for you. It's like I have to always be doing something. I can't just sit still, like always juggling something. I'm an overachiever, an overperformer. I have to be doing all these things. What happens when you hurt your back?
Yeah.
It happened to me at 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a herniated disc at 21. That sucked. I had 2 little kids.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was awful.
You had dependence. Yeah.
It was horrible. I remember I did it sneezing getting out of bed.
Oh.
I had to call my father-in-law to come over and get me. And I remember not being able to sit down like in the chair in the car.
Yeah.
So I was like this, holding myself in the car in the front seat.
Yep. To
couldn't do it.
Take real pressure off of that.
Yeah. It's just so bad. I think it was L4 or something.
Okay.
And then they took me to the doctor and they did an MRI and they were like, yep, this is an acute herniation. And they basically explained to me so I just want you to imagine that there's like a box of Krispy Kreme donuts sitting in your dashboard and they're jelly filled and you slam on the brakes.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, what happens to those jelly donuts? It's like, they go everywhere. He's like, that's pretty much what it looks like in there. I'm like, great.
Mine's on L4, L5.
Yeah, so my L5 is messed up too. Yeah, I know your pain, dude.
Damn, I did not know.
What's interesting is I talked to a lot of people that had the performance pressure that have lower back bones.
No shit. Okay. We're tired. Hey, dude, we're tired of putting the team on our back. All right.
Right? Gonna need some support here, guys.
Literally.
Come on.
Let me be the one that fucking snaps and breaks down sometimes. Shit.
And I think it's a feeling that we can't, right? Like we're constantly just like waiting for the next thing or the next problem to solve and the next thing that I have to do. Like I can tell you, and I'm aware of this now, and I still have to catch myself doing it. Like I still like, if my husband gets up and starts cleaning, I feel like I have failed in my role.
Right.
I'm like,
comfortable.
I'm gonna have to clean 10 times faster. Yeah, you can't sit and watch, right? Like that's a terrible, terrible feeling. And so now I'm like, he looks so sexy with that. I got this. Like, I'm just gonna sit here and be pampered. Can you get me some drinks, maybe?
I mean, it's okay to feel
Right?
that, right?
But it's hard, man. It's like a muscle that you've got to like chill out.
Exactly.
Because you're so used to just like go. And it's funny because like there'll be certain times. I had a comment on TikTok yesterday. I was talking about this podcast. And they're like, is there anything that you don't do? And like at first I was like, not really. But then I started thinking about it. I sit in my damn bed a good 8 hours a day. Okay. I have had to give myself permission to do that. I work with my phone. So I'm still working, but lots of times I'm not, and I'm scrolling or I'm making a TikTok or I'm doing something like that. And you know, whatever, they're like, you've got 2 little kids. I'm like, there's a television and coloring books. And you know, I'm like, we're not always just go. In fact, I had a conversation with a mom the other day talking about this. Her daughter doesn't want to leave the house. She's always a homebody. She wants to stay in her bedroom. She wants to do, you know, nothing, basically.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I am the homebody. Naturally, that's who I am. I don't want to leave the house. I had one of those, what's it called? A Fitbit?
Oh,
While back,
God.
years ago. You want to know what my steps average was?
300.
Really close.
Yeah.
Between 800 and 1200 a day. Yeah. And I tell people that and they laugh and they think I'm kidding. I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. That's how much I don't move.
Yeah.
Like, I was a fat girl. I weighed 240 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got there somehow. I like to eat. I don't like to move. It's that simple. It's that easy. Okay. So it's like, this is really not rocket science, people. I really don't move. And I think that somebody that was raised with that type of performance pressure and they naturally don't want to move, like that is a death sentence for that person.
Yeah.
Because they don't ever feel like they actually get to rest. They feel like there's always some kind of pressure making them go. And all they want to do is just chill out. They don't want to have to get dressed. They don't want to have to get ready. They don't want to have to go to the store. They don't want to. And then if you are getting upset because that person doesn't want to go do things with you, now there's the guilt that sets in.
Yep.
Like, oh, you don't want to go to the store with me? Fine. I guess I'll go by myself.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Let me get my shoes, you know, like, can't handle that.
And that's like, that goes so much into having an understanding and maturity to respect space.
Right.
You know, and I think that's when people start to get it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Dude, you don't, same with like, sex situation. It's like, okay, you don't want to fuck right now. I'm not going to be like, oh, you don't love me, I'm ugly. It's just like, all right, cool. I'm horny sometimes too.
Well, some people are like, you know, they feel rejected in that.
Exactly.
And it has nothing to do with that. But what, you know, what it boils down to, I bet you money right now. And now that you just said that, because my brain clicked, I think that we think so much alike on so many things. And this could be why. Yeah. Because when that subject comes up and somebody is like, oh, you don't love me. You know what they're doing is they're assigning a fucking motive to you that you don't have, that does not match your internal reality.
Yes.
I cannot stand when somebody assigns a motive to me that does not match my internal reality. There is no faster way to say to somebody, I don't know shit about you, than for you to tell them what their intentions or motivations were for doing something and for them to be 100% wrong and not match that person's internal reality.
Now I'm gonna give them the fucking cheat code. Okay, y'all pull your pen and paper out for this one. So we'll just use the sex example because it's the easiest. If your partner doesn't want to fuck, but you want to fuck more and more often, when they don't want to fuck, validate and reinforce that. And then that comfortability of being able to say no and still be accepted and loved is going to translate into more openness and more willingness.
Yeah. And that goes across like so many different examples, you know, like with anything. Yeah. Like it could even be the cleaning of the house, right? Like I want to clean my house.
I don't want to talk to you. I just want you in the same room right now. I just want to scroll on my phone while you're there. And it's like, if you can give me that space, I have so much more room to really engage with you in the way that you want me to.
That is me.
Yeah.
I am like down as long as I am in the same vicinity of that person. If I'm in the same vicinity as someone, I'm good. Yeah. I don't need for us to be doing things together. I don't need any of that. Like we're chilling. Even in the other room, you're home with me, I'm good.
Exactly.
Right? But some people need to run up their butt.
Yo, I know.
I am not that person.
No.
I am too autonomous for that.
Yeah.
I feel suffocated by that. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
And I don't like the feeling that I'm doing something wrong when I know I'm not.
Right.
And, you know, and you
Don't
said
guilt
it. You said
trip
it
me.
way deeper just now. But that's what it comes down to.
Don't shame me.
Don't shame me.
That comes all the way. We're gonna throw it all the way back. Oh, yeah. that started way long ago.
No kidding. That's so true.
So it's interesting listening to your story in your life and all the events that happened. There's three main themes, right?
Yeah.
The first one is you're a highly autonomous human being and you needed space and all things and you felt trapped, right? Like you were trapped by the bullies, you were trapped by your emotions, you were trapped by the suicidal thoughts, you were trapped by your body. You're trapped by your body.
Yeah.
That's hard, right? The second one is all that performance stuff.
Mhm.
Needing to perform, needing to know that you matter, needing to prove that you were worthy of love.
Yeah.
I've done that with friends my whole life.
Mhm.
I'm always a friend that goes above and beyond.
Yeah.
And then the third one is that, being very chronically misunderstood. And there's a fourth one, which is that othered child, the one that was very much so, but I think it kind of goes back to unseen and heard and dismissed and minimized and validated, like all that kind of groups together with the third one. But there was also most definitely that, black sheep energy,
Yeah.
which I think kind of goes back to that too, because it's not like you were a part of a group and got kicked out of it. It was just you were marching the beat of your own drum, much like I did.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw there was more than the status quo out there. And it's like walking down a trail. You got the beaten out path, but it's like there's a really cool fucking tree over there. So I'm going to walk through the field.
Right.
So I'm going to look at that tree. Yep.
Well, I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad that I got to meet you. I'm glad that I've known you for 9 years, which seems insane to me to say. Literally, when I asked you how old you were, I was in my head counting because it's I remember you being barely legal in that home.
Yeah.
I remember that
Yeah.
specifically. I'm
Month after my birthday.
yeah. Are you really about to do me? Holy shit! I'm old. Oh my god, I'm old.
And I can genuinely say with, and not even in a way that's proving it to anybody or saying it to make anybody feel safe or happy about it, is that I authentically am glad I'm here. I think brushing death with that pancreatitis and the sepsis, because with that drinking, I was drinking at a suicidal rate. And I was like, I had this stupid fantasy where alcohol was just going to kill me, but I was going to be super fucked up and didn't.
I won't feel it anyway.
Exactly. And it's no, it's not how that works. And I'm glad I had that brush where it's dude, you gotta live. There's so much to do and so many people to talk to. So I gotta stay, I guess.
I think you need to stay. I think you've got a lot to give.
Thanks.
And I think that you deserve to get a lot because you put out so much.
I want to get there where I feel like I deserve it too.